Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claru.
And this is the Nerdy,
the Wordy,
the book club. That is right. Welcome back to the first hour of a show where people will show up an hour late and go, oh no, daylight savings time. I forgot what time this was going to start today.
Oh, yeah. I also forgot that was this week. That seems like 4 weeks ago.
I love that we've been doing this podcast long enough, live on Fridays, that this is like an annual tradition.
Yeah. Every year, people come in and they're like, oh, daylight savings.
And 6 months from now, there will be people in the live chat going, why isn't the show started yet?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they starting an hour later than usual?
You know what? It's fair. Honestly, daylight savings is fucking weird if you don't, like, if your country doesn't do it, like, you're like, what do you mean? You just change the time.
Oh, interesting. I use the new stream. So we've been having problems with our streams, right? They've been cutting in and out. So I'm using the new Stream Elements multi-stream instead of restream.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, no, we are.
There we are. And it didn't. The tool in Stream Elements did not change the title on
Twitch.
On Twitch, it said it did.
Oh no!
It told me that it had. But
it
did not. Okay, I'm going to fix that. You do a little ad for something.
Today's podcast and shenanigans are brought to you by Gamer Sups.
I have one of those too.
What flavor you got over there?
I have Brand Risk.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Love a little mango. I have So Depressed Despair. One of my favorites. Look at this little waifu. Look at that little booty. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this little guy. You, too, can buy Gamer Subs for yourself. And what is that? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's a powder that you mix into your drinks, and it makes them better. Just 100% better. You can get caffeinated or non-caffeinated versions, and they're filled with, like, vitamins and all that fun jazz. So, like, if you're thirsty, go get Gamer Subs and use the code CLAROOS, CLAROOS, for 10% off.
10 whole percent.
10 whole percent. They have merch.
That's amazing.
And stuff too. So
what
it's
a gift.
Fun. I got like a bucket hat.
Oh my god, I have to go get that merch.
Oh god, yeah. Oops, yeah. That went to the wrong place. But it's fine because we have Gamer Sups to see us through.
Thank you, Gamer Sups. We adore you and drink you way too much.
We have Gamer Sups at least once a day.
I have it twice most days because I have the AFK before bed.
Yeah, guys, they do have a bedtime drink that's it's not melatonin based.
Yeah, it's magnesium based.
Yeah, if you don't like to fuck around with melatonin, it's magnesium based, and it just helps you get a good night's sleep. Yeah,
their new flavor lemon cake, incredible.
Yeah,
the raspberry,
my favorite.
Shortcake. What's the raspberry one called? I don't know. The raspberry one's
sorbet
amazing. Raspberry sorbet is amazing.
I think, yeah.
And lemon cake is amazing. And some nights the hardest decision I make before bed is not whether or not I want to brush my teeth, but whether or not which flavor I want to drink.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a hard decision.
Sibs, thank you for being a Nerds Radiant. Welcome back.
Glad to have you here. How we doing, Chad? How are we feeling? How's everybody?
Yeah. You good?
You good?
We're not. But, I hope you're good.
It's fine. 2025. It's been a real...
It's been a year.
It's been a real... Yeah. It's only been 3 months. Not even.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's been 2.5.
Yeah. But we are we're in the final part of the Bands of Mourning.
Hell yeah.
A book that this week took hard turns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Judah County, thank you for that super chat. Sleepy because I looked at the moon at 2 a.m. Are you a werewolf?
Did you?
Ow.
Was it a full moon last night? Thank you for that super chat.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Me.
I feel like this book sort of changed genres this week.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit.
How did you feel about
crazy. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I am in a similar boat.
Yeah.
Bands of Mourning got weird real quick.
Yeah. Still processing. I don't know. Sci-Fi has joined the chat.
Truly.
Yeah.
And sci-fi out of fucking nowhere. It's not like... Yeah. It's very strange. It was a weird
There are 2 concurrent YouTube streams?
Wait, what the fuck? How are there 2 YouTube streams?
Oh, no! I don't know. That's weird.
How is that even possible? Oh, yeah. There's literally,
What? Okay, that's weird. We're trying out a new thing, okay, guys? I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, chat is quiet this morning. Everyone's so sleepy.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that people love Bands of Mourning.
Well, I understand why people don't love Era 2. Like, there's a lot going on. Same, you're in the wrong one. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. We are attempting to.
I don't know why it would do that though.
I don't know why it would do that either. Like, there's only one YouTube.
I know. We'll figure that out later.
That's very strange. We're we've had some streaming issues in the past, so we're trying to not use Restream. We're using something else to see if it helps.
Yeah, I just okay. So, but to get back to the book, I've seen a lot of comments of people being like, "I'll be back for Rhythm of War,"
Yeah,
or "I'll be back before." I'll be back for X, Y, and Z, and that I'll tune in for Lost Metal or something. So I don't know. I do think that there is an element of this Mistborn Era 2 just not being as popular even among Sanderson fans.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying that because Sanderson fans keep telling me that.
Fair.
I've also in the like post Wind and Truth sort of review period. I did watch some non-spoiler reviews, and a number of them said things like, I haven't really been the biggest Sanderson fan since Mistborn Era 2 started coming out, and that there are some people who are like, that is kind of where the quality of his books for me was not as good. Not my opinion. I don't have an opinion on this yet. We're in book 3. So I do think
we got
it's
a ways to go.
Just looking at the numbers and who's watching these book clubs versus past book clubs, there is a definite I see those trends and those patterns, right? Yeah,
there's definitely less interest in Era 2. It seems like among like the general Sanderson fans. Yeah. Which is something that I have honestly understood pretty well since we started, because even book 1 feels different than what Sanderson has done in the past, right? Like, even Alloy of Law was a shift, and I liked it. I have liked Mistborn Era 2 well enough so far. This section just kind of threw me for a loop, and I feel like I don't know how to feel about it yet, because I thought the puzzle was this big.
Yeah.
But it's actually a 10,000 piece puzzle and not a 1,000 piece puzzle. You know what I mean? And so I don't have an idea of the bigger picture yet. I got like a glimpse. I was just informed that the puzzle is actually much larger than I believed it to be. And so I have to come to terms with that before we move on to building it.
I also think there's an element of, for me personally, that Hoyd walks into the story and gives them the puzzle piece. And I think that there's an element of it where I think if Wax and Wayne Milan, if one of them...
Fuck you, OBS.
So it's not Restream.
No. It is OBS.
Or the internet fully disconnects.
We're back? We're back!
Oh, are we back?
Yep.
No, we're not.
Yep.
We have 0 frames, babe.
Well, we're back on here.
Great.
Love this for us. Yep, looks like we're back on here. That's so weird.
But we're in the same YouTube video.
Yep.
Great. I think that if Wax and Wayne and them had been able to detectivize the coin out of the set instead of it being handed to them, I think that I would have enjoyed it more. Like, I think I would have been more invested in the the detective element of this book.
Mm-hmm.
But because it is sort of this weird, we get to New Saren, we go to the first party. We don't even have to do anything in New Saren.
Yeah.
Because the book isn't actually interested in New Saren. We get to like a beautiful location. We have a very comedic hotel room scene. And then the first party we go to, Hoyd shows up and is like, here is the coin for the plot that's going to get you out of the city as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then before our characters do anything there really, of their own kind of actions, we're booping off to another thing.
Yeah, it just doesn't, it's nothing that our characters did or earned. It is somebody from another planet shows up and is like,
here's the plot.
Yeah.
And so I do think that what the book gets to is wild and interesting and really crazy, right? And I think that is really fun.
Cool ideas.
Yeah, I think the fight in the manor's cool. I also think the fight in the ship is, like, leading them to the ship is cool.
Absolutely.
There's just sort of... This series started as a lawman, like, detective, like, pulls a toothpick out of his mouth, solves the murder, kills the bad guy series.
Yeah.
And for this book to sort of renege on the promise of what Wax's skills are by handing him clues so that we can become a sci-fi series is just sort of it's a twist on the expectation of the audience. And I just don't enjoy that twist. I think that other people will. Other people will be like, thank God the detective shit's done. I'm excited for powers sci-fi fights.
Sure.
That's just not that's not the series that I thought I was getting with the Wild West Mistborn.
Yeah.
And now we're doing, like, we have skyships Mistborn. I thought this was like a Mistborn Era 3 kind of idea. Because I know that's like the modern era Mistborn series, right?
Right, yeah.
And so it just, I was like, oh, we're just skipping to that. Okay, they fly now. They fly now.
Linus, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. Can't stay. All right, well, sorry if we missed you, but how about them Parshendi invading? Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah. Not even
very funny.
Close. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that is... Yeah. I mean, it had to be intentional by him, right? He had to know that was the expectation he was setting up with his audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I'm not gonna lie. I like that twist. I do. I quite enjoyed... I quite enjoyed the twist of the Parshendi not being Parshendi, but being people from another continent. And... Yeah, no, I thought that was great. That played on my expectations in a way that felt very in-world and very related to... that the characters never thought that it was a Parshendi. It was me creating an expectation based on Brandon's writing that it was a Parshendi. And then, so that... The twist was on the audience, but not on the characters.
Yeah. The
characters were just learning new information. I thought that was handled very well. I liked it quite a bit. I like that character. But someone said... Ilmavavi says, what part of this is sci-fi? Science fiction doesn't mean Star Trek, right? Science fiction means the point at which the story becomes about speculative technology and how that would change the future.
Yeah.
And so for the world of Scadrial, science fiction in this case is that they have now taken a power that is a natural thing and they have put it in a medallion that just gives them that power.
Yeah.
That is the science fiction of this world, right? There would have been a time when a car running on gasoline would have been science fiction.
Sure, yeah.
And then we got that car. And so for our main characters, the technology that shows up in this section is so far advanced of their understanding of the physical limits of their technological world.
Yeah.
It is such a leap for them that it is science fiction now for this world.
Yeah.
Even if it wouldn't be science fiction for our world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blues Barrows, thank you so much for 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. I think I got one.
Did you actually?
I think I got one.
Luz Barros, thank you. That is incredibly kind of you, especially after you're already fucking commissioning chapters, you crazy
Thank you.
lad.
Now so many more people can go watch those reactions. So go do it and go see how our miniature painting is coming along.
To what Chad is saying, I would not call this steampunk. Steampunk is a very particular vibe.
This doesn't feel like steampunk to me personally.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I don't think there's anything really related to steampunk in this.
It doesn't even really feel grunge. Like, it's not like... I don't know. Yeah, I don't...
There's also nothing punk about it.
Punk? No. Because Wax is the system and doesn't know how to fucking do anything about it. Yeah. Retrofuturism. I mean, sure.
No, it's not retrofuturism. Retrofuturism is you can't tell a retrofuturism story in a world that is in a fantasy world, right? Like retrofuturism, it has to be retro, and there's nothing retro about this. I understand. I understand that they have less technology than we do in some way, but that's not actually. Retrofuturism is like Star Wars, where their technology is so advanced, but it looks like our technology in the 70s. And so you have to have both. Okay. It has to be both more futuristic than us and look less futuristic than what we currently have, right?
Yeah.
This, for the time when it was written, is significantly less technology. We have better planes than this. Like, our planes can kick this airship's ass 1 billion times over. From a genre standpoint, it's not... It doesn't really fit into that vibe, especially because it's just magic. Well, it is just magic at the end of the day. It's just their magic.
Yeah, this book really does feel like it's kind of its own thing, in a way.
Olivia Reduke, yeah. Fallout is definitely... Fallout is retrofuturism to a T. Star Wars, those kinds of stories. There's another point here that someone made about France. This is like saying the United States had sci-fi tech just because they had planes before France. No, because we developed planes in a way where the French were able to see it, right? It
wasn't that we suddenly made a huge leap that changed like how we understood the world functions. Like
that's not what it is. So the thing about science fiction is that it has to be technology that science fiction can't exist in real life because then it's just technology, right? Science fiction is writing a story about the experience of technology pushing beyond what we currently think is capable, right? If you write a story that uses the best modern technology, you're just writing a drama.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Science fiction has to take something that we understand beyond what we are currently capable of and use that to comment on the current world. That's what the genre is. So in that way, this isn't science schedule. It can't have science fiction because they'll never have the same technology as us. That's why it is science fiction for this planet, but not science fiction for us. Because this technology is not in any way possible, right?
Yeah.
So it is just fantasy. It doesn't matter. This is such a weird genre conversation. We need to move on to the book. People are going to complain that I'm ranting again.
Well, no, I think it's relevant because there is such a shift in this book within this section. Judah Canizares, thank you for that super chat. To me, this doesn't come out of nowhere, especially since Cezanne hinted at it in SOS.
Shadows of Self.
Shadows of Self.
The last book we read.
Yeah. When he said, you haven't progressed much in the basin compared to others who've had to struggle, which was a mind blow for me. I mean... I
have a huge problem with that.
Yeah. Should we get to that, or do we want to touch on it now?
No, we'll get to it. There's a reveal in this book that I hate. That I actually hate if it's true. If it turns out to not be true, I'll be okay with it. But there is a reveal, and I think can probably just figure out what it is, that I fucking hated.
I'm not a fan of it.
And I think it's a fake out.
Yeah.
It has to, I think it's not real.
It has to be.
But I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the chapter by chapter breakdown.
All right.
Because what happened in 10? I don't even remember. That was so long ago.
Yeah, the beginning of this section, I'm like, that's...
Oh my god, this section started with them getting to fucking New Saren.
Yeah, which is beautiful, by the way.
Going to the hotel. and terrorizing a poor woman.
Yeah.
Our team shows up, and they don't want to take the time to take the gondola because they want to go take a nap before the party tonight. And they show up one by one. Wax flies up and down this fucking city, bouncing off of gondolas, which Clarence thought were wooden boats.
Yeah, I thought a gondola was a boat.
Yeah. And this scene's great. It only works because the book acknowledges that they're being insane out of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Because if they were doing this normally,
be like, what is
it
wrong
would make
with
our
you?
characters seem like genuine lunatics.
Yeah.
It would make them all seem like,
why? Why today? What's changed? No, we're still alive.
are we actually? No, we're not.
Yeah, we're still alive.
Are we?
Yeah. It must have reconnected immediately. I don't know.
Here we go. Thank you, Caladri, for getting us started. 1 out of 10. I don't know what that means. We're still live?
Yeah, we're still live. I don't know. Guys, OBS is drunk. We have tried everything.
So weird.
We have tried.
I don't know that it's OBS, though. It might
uninstalling
be the internet. Just being, like, fritzing a little bit.
Okay, well, then I'll have to call.
Yeah. So, they get to the hotel room. Steris has a binder of every possible scenario that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's really not a good time for
Anti-Jin.
Anti-Jin.
Yeah.
Um,
She's just trying to run a nice establishment.
but thankfully, they don't even make it a night there. So it's really fine.
Yeah. They're barely, like, they barely get checked in. They go to the rooms, they get ready for a party, and then that party doesn't go well, so they don't even stay the night.
Milan struggles to decide what cup size she's bringing to the party.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
Would it?
Yeah, if you could, like, change your boob size depending on how you're feeling that day. You know, like, oh, I'm gonna go work out at the gym. I don't really want, like, badonkadonks, like, in my way.
Oh, in that sense, yeah, it would definitely be useful for that.
Yeah, right? But if you're, like, you know, if you buy a dress and it doesn't quite fit you properly and you can just, like, shape your body to fit the proportions of it, that's so convenient.
You could finally have your boobs be the same size, and that one person that keeps commenting on all our videos left one's bigger.
I know.
He wouldn't have anything to comment about.
I know.
That would actually hurt our engagement. You need to keep one of your boobs a different size.
Yeah, because otherwise we're not going to have this one commenter who can't actually tell left from right, which is very funny.
No, I think he just doesn't understand that the camera has a mirror in it.
But the comment has changed. It's flip-flopped between left and right.
Oh, I've only seen the left one's bigger. I've never seen someone say right one's bigger.
No, yeah. This person is, like, very obsessed with the fact that my boobs are real. But thank you for the engagement. I appreciate it.
God, the internet's so strange.
It really is.
Yeah, I don't... The one person who I feel like reveals too much publicly in this, because I don't think she needs sleep, is... Milan. Like, I'm surprised Milan reveals that she's a Khandra to Anti-June.
Yeah, Milan has a twisted sense of humor.
Yeah, but I also feel like Milan is like, well, now that I'm working with Wax, I don't need to hide myself anymore, and I'm just gonna come out there and be you know what? I'm a Khandra. I'm being public about it.
Yeah, no, she does not give a fuck.
Because in the last book, they were like, we've never seen Khandra before, and now there's like 3 of them, and now Milan is like, I'm telling everyone.
Yeah. Don't have to hide this shit anymore? Fabulous. Let's see how everybody reacts.
Yeah. And I'm gonna fuck Wayne for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure it out. Although, I think Wayne was better in this section, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he was certainly less annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem with him as a character, right? Is when they're on mission, he's great.
Yeah.
It's only when the books head into downtime and Brandon Sanderson starts to, like, allow him to just sort of fuck around for no value to the narrative that it becomes cloying. But when he's doing stuff, he's not that bad a character.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he's great. In a lot of the actual, like, plot things.
Yeah. And his chaos turned towards enemies is fun and energetic, and it has a life to it that is great, right? Mm-hmm. Joking around during the action scene later on is really good. it's the problem with him as a character is he doesn't regulate that with anyone except children, other like children characters. And so that same like chaotic energy that is fun against an enemy isn't fun when it's like a random gondola worker.
Yeah.
Who's just getting fucked over by one of the richest people in the city.
Yeah.
And so there's like a disparity between the fun of his actions from depending on who he's directing his chaos towards.
Yeah.
And it's yeah. So and that's what's tough about him. But like throughout this section when they're on mission, he's really fun. All the stuff in the graveyard in this section is really good Wayne stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish that Brandon Sanderson regulated him back a little bit when he's not on mission.
Yeah.
So that it didn't feel as mean-spirited as it sometimes does.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like to Wayne it's not mean-spirited, but, like, Wayne is an adult, and, like, there's things he seems to not understand that are absolutely absurd.
Yeah. And for me, like, a lot of that should be him being able to understand the plight of, like, the serving class.
Yeah.
And how he seems to particularly have it out for people who are just doing their jobs.
Yeah.
And so I.
But then he's like, oh man, I feel bad for that engineer guy who's working for the bad guys because he's just trying to do his job. And I'm like, why don't you feel that same sympathy for the gondola worker that you are, or not the gondola, the boat, like the guy who he made him like sail. Yeah. For people who are not working for the bad guys, like.
Yeah, and that's the. Yeah. I feel like we've explained that enough.
Luis Barros, thank you for that super chat. I feel like Wayne is the closest to understanding Megan's mindset in the
Milan's mindset.
Oh, I was like, who's Megan? Understanding Milan's mindset in the way he approaches his disguises feels like there is a no fucks given kinship between them. Yeah. I don't know. I think the problem with it is, like, while I'm reading this book, if I were to imagine, like, kissing Wayne, it'd be like kissing a child. Because he is so mentally, like, underdeveloped.
Nicholas Reed has a great point here. Wayne is following the same path as a lot of comedians, which is starting in a place where he could almost only punch up and ending in a place where he could almost only punch down and not adjusting.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a great way to put it.
It is, right? Like, it is that problem of you can't... He's so rich that he can have anything.
Yeah.
And so anytime he is cruel towards anyone... Or rob someone who just is like working 50 hours a week just to try and survive.
Yeah.
It feels outsized now.
Yeah, it feels like he's like making other people's lives more difficult in a way that like feels bad.
I didn't really have an issue with him at all when he was like fucking with Wax's shit.
Yeah.
Because Wax can afford shit. I think that Wayne is pushing it on the Wax will pay the fine thing.
Yeah.
Baby Balrog, how rich is Wayne? I have no idea.
I mean, they reference him being one of the richest people in the city.
Yeah, in this section, they straight up say, like, Wayne, you're one of the richest people in Ellendale. So it's a weird...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he has to have
his
own wealth somehow because the book straight up just says that he's rich.
Yeah, so he's not, like Elon Musk, but he's like...
I love that you know one rich person.
Yeah, I don't care about rich people, but yeah, I don't know. He's not Elon Musk, but he's like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Chapter 11, we head toward the party. This is where we see Hoyd, and Hoyd is like, "Hey man, do you have any change?"
Sorry, they split up. The groups, the group splits up. So we Wayne and Maris here are going to the graveyard, and Wax and Stairs are going to the party.
Yeah. So we get the coin. Hoyd's there. We've already said it. I don't like this. I don't mind Hoyd being here. I just don't like Hoyd giving them the next clue in the series of the mystery.
Yeah, just straight up handing it to them.
It feels very convenient and cheap to me. Hoyd has no reason to be here. He has no skin in this game. He just and like, yeah, it just doesn't matter. I don't like this. It flies in the face of what I want from a detective novel.
Is someone else showing up and being like, here's the real mystery?
Not even the real mystery. Here's the thing that you need to continue the plot of this book.
Sure, yeah.
And nothing would happen. This party scene, nothing would happen if I don't hand this to you. Yeah. So I'm going to hand this to you.
Yeah, because nothing actually would have played out the way that it did. He wouldn't have the coin to do...
he wouldn't have found...
To talk to Cassina?
He wouldn't have figured out that she was, like, being sus. He wouldn't have followed her upstairs.
Yeah.
He would have heard the speech about Bloomington or whatever wanting to go to war with Ellendale.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's fine. It's all right. It's just, I don't like it. Yeah. But we cut back to Wayne and Marcy really quickly. They are going to the bank. And Wayne is like, all right, we are going to rob a bank.
Here's the plan. And
but
Marcy...
only of their records.
Yeah, and then Marcy walks in and just flashes her badge.
Whoop, whoop, this is the police.
Yeah.
And Wayne's like, oh shit, that worked.
He's
Damn,
like, that's
she's good at something.
Fun. He's like, my disguise doesn't work now. There's no way you would be a cop. Like,
I am surprised that Wayne isn't... No, he does respect it. If I was Wayne, I feel like there's times where I would pretend to be a cop to get into places. And so I'm surprised it's not a disguise he thinks of more. Because he actually is one.
Yeah.
Wayne, in some ways...
He can never disguise himself as himself.
He wants to make it harder on himself.
Yeah.
Like, there is a part of him that's like, this will be
cheating.
More interesting.
Yeah. He's gotta make his life harder.
But he also wants to put himself in a position where he can ruin Wax's reputation just a little bit more.
Always. Yeah, that is a given.
They go through... They do forensic accounting that...
Real fast.
Feels like it should take weeks. In a night. Like, they...
Oh, in like an hour.
They genuinely...
They still have time to go to the grave.
The forensic accounting in Marcy fucking downloading the hard... I don't know how the fuck they figured out that the cemetery workers were crooked in like 45 minutes. And that all of them are.
I don't know.
Couldn't
tell ya.
Was wild.
Yeah.
Like, the idea...
But I also don't do math, so...
I know, but the idea that you could look at any... The fuck is going on upstairs? Okay, you keep talking about the bank. I'm gonna go figure out what the hell is going on in our house.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Chad. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Yeah, look, I'm bad at math, and Marcy's probably better at math than I am. So she figures it out real quick. Anyways, there's just like banging. That like sounds like it's coming in the house. What the fuck? Now Nerdy is talking to someone. I have no idea what is happening right now. I'm so sorry. This is great content for the podcast. What was that?
They're installing the outer door on the back door.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Nobody told us.
That's great.
They were like, oh yeah, we knocked. So I walk up, the guy's drilling into the back of our house.
Yeah, you're like, excuse me? Who are you? Wow. Okay. That was wild.
Yeah. So yeah, if there's some extra noise today, sorry y'all.
We didn't know it was gonna happen.
There's a lot of cold air coming into our back door. So, what were you talking about? Oh, forensic accounting. Crazy. An insane... Like, the idea that you could even look at the books and in an hour understand what they mean at all is wild to me.
Look, here's the thing. With modern day taxes, maybe that's true, but maybe it was much simpler in this city. You know, maybe it's like real basic. I don't know.
Well, no, because this isn't their taxes.
I don't know.
This is just looking at their bank accounts and being like, wait a second, they're making money. They're depositing money into their accounts that is more than their contracted pay.
Okay.
Therefore, they're all corrupt.
So they had the contracts for the pay?
They must have.
Unless maybe there's a baseline. It's like government like subsidized. It's like you get, if you do this job, which is necessary and has to be done, this is how much you get to make.
Oh, interesting. And so yeah, instead of interesting. The government rate thing's interesting. I didn't think of the graveyard as being like government paid, but it might be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's why Marcy knows what they are supposed to be making. I have no idea. It didn't matter because I didn't care to spend more time on this.
Oh no, I just thought it was very funny.
Yeah. Judah, thank you for that super chat. I think it's a better choice to pair him more with Marcy in this book. Agreed. Because she doesn't take his shit as much whenever he works with her compared to Wax.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I think that honestly, like they make a better pairing for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one of the reasons why it's weird is for me, I don't know how much money you could reasonably skim off of like dead people's clothes, but also why are you depositing all of it? Just keep it cash.
Yeah.
The fact that all of these grave robbers are all bad criminals is wild to me.
That's true.
You guys suck at this. Guys, you're getting paid cash. It's not like you're taking direct deposits to sell off some like rich guy's suit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and Bryce's right. In New Saren, everyone loves the bank.
That's, yeah, sure.
Chapter
anyways,
12.
they're like, all of them are corrupt, so we're just gonna go pick one and work with them.
Probably the one on shift.
Yeah, exactly.
Wax. God, this chapter.
Oh yeah, Mr. Areola. What a name.
Hey, some people have weird names, okay?
All right.
Growing up as Mr. Weens wasn't easy.
If you say so.
Fucking bullies. So then they go to the party. Basically, we just get this long section where Wax is not able to communicate like a human being at all.
Yeah.
He's
out of practice.
But he's not. He's been in fucking Ellendale doing this for 2 years. He's been going. If this is how things are going in Ellendale right now, no wonder his political stock isn't rising.
Well, but in Ellendale, we know that he's punching people in the faces. He's starting fights. He's insulting people. Nobody likes him. Like, we know that he's bad at this already.
I know, but I did not know it was this bad.
Keeping track.
I did not know it was this bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
It was sad. I was like, Steris, I feel bad for you. But you're great. Steris rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And Wax is conversationally not crushing it.
No. Kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
He's good at talking about what he knows about. But
when he's interested.
Yeah, when he's interested.
This chapter to me painted such a like beautiful portrait of why Steris is going to run the world one day.
Yeah.
And why Wax is a liability in that.
Truly, honestly.
But he starts going over to the bartender and he tips that new coin. And the bartender's like, hey man, is this one of those weird religious things where you like hand me a $10 bill, but on the back it says that the actual tip is the advice that I should find Jesus?
Oh my God. It's like when you've like seen like people like give like homeless people crystals and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Like, what the hell's wrong?
You're
with
supposed to charge it under a full moon inside of your pussy.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a fancy coin, funky fancy coin. I thought maybe I was like, oh, maybe it's a seal. It's not. That's No.
No, this book
Different
essentially
world.
turns into Indiana Jones.
Kind
But
of.
not like Indiana Jones, like, not Raiders of the Lost Ark. This book kind of turns into, like, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull Indiana Jones. Where you're like, we were punching Nazis, but now we're aliens? Okay.
Well, kind of, because of Hoyd. Kind of.
I mean, literally because of Hoyd. He's not from this planet.
Yeah.
What do you mean, kind of? An alien shows up and hands him a magic coin with strange writing on it. What part of that isn't aliens?
Yeah.
We're peeking like
guys,
crazy.
That's what sci-fi is.
What part of...
It's aliens showing up. Which means that, like, I guess, like, all of the Cosmere is sci-fi. It's aliens.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit.
Hoyd doesn't show up along with, like, hyper-advanced technology, though, in other series, but...
I mean, in fucking... What's this? Elantris, he fucking teleports himself out of there.
But he teleports magically, not technologically. Big difference.
Not apparently not.
No, if the gods make it, it's not technology, but if we make it, it is technology.
Okay.
Therefore, the hole in the perpendicularity, not technology. That's just magic.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a really important distinction.
Okay.
That I've apparently staked the entirety of today's show on.
I'm so happy for you. It's going real well. We're doing so good. Oh, man.
And then Steris takes him conversation by conversation until we meet. We talk to Lady Felice Demus.
Feliz
and we're like...
Navidad. Feliz is just such a weird name. What?
That just cracked me up. Felice is like, yeah, I'll dance with you, you young whippersnapper. And then when Wax turns to go dance with her, some random fucking lady is like, so you can fly?
Yeah.
What
we
kind
learned,
of...
Okay, we learned the craziest thing, that there have only been 3 people with Wax's power combination.
Why is that crazy?
What the hell? Oh, no, we're just stuttering a little bit. We're good.
There's around 180 possible combinations of twin burn.
Yeah, Twinborn, yeah.
Yeah. Right? Like, so what's 16 times 16?
Too high for me. I can do 12 times 12, because that's 144, and I memorized that shit when I was a kid.
That's why I'm saying it's like 180.
So then
that
what's
might be
4
low.
times 4? What's 4 times 4?
That's not the way to do that.
What do you mean? Don't you just add 4 times 4 and 12 times 12?
No.
Why?
Because that's not how you do that.
Why wouldn't that be how you do that?
It's 256.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So there's 256 possible combinations of Twinborn.
Okay.
Right? And so... Is that right?
What do you mean? The calculator did it.
No, yeah, that is right. No, I wanted to make sure that would be... Yeah. So there's 256 possible kinds of Twinborn, and they are exceedingly rare.
Yeah, okay.
So
fair.
The idea that...
I wonder if there's one that's never been born before.
Oh, that's interesting. Probably.
Probably. There's gotta be.
There's definitely ones that they don't know have been born.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know about... Like, most people don't know about investiture or whatever.
Well, but I mean, like Atium mistings. Twinborn, whose other power is Atium, wouldn't know.
I thought Atium didn't exist anymore. Like, it's not part of the 16 metals.
Oh, no, the metal just isn't around.
Oh. Oh, okay, I thought...
Because the 4th book is called The Lost Metal. They're finding some Atium in this series.
Okay, I thought they said, like, got rid of it. It was like, ixnay that one.
I don't know that he can.
He's God.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I don't think it's that crazy that there's only been 3 of his particular Twinborn when there's 256 options, and there's probably less than 256 Twinborn alive right now.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, no, that is absolutely fair.
Because we only know 3 in the series so far.
Well...
Wax, Wayne, and Miles are the only Twinborn we've met. We've met a lot of singles, like Marcy
Right.
is a single. She's an Allomancer.
Okay.
We've met some Ferrochemists, but like we haven't actually met another Twinborn. The Alm was a fake Twinborn.
Yeah.
She was switching out powers.
Right. No, you're right.
Have we
Dan.
met another Twinborn yet?
I think what's his face, the murder child at the beginning was just a Ferrochemist.
Bloody Tan?
No.
Murder Child.
You're just torturing the child.
I said Miles Imavabi.
Yeah,
That's one
said,
of the three.
You said Miles.
There's no Twinborn in the segment. So like
Felch.
Oh, Falch. Yeah.
No, that's not his name.
Farch? No.
That can't be. Forch. There we go.
We were
Oh,
so
so
close.
it was. Oh, so Forge was 2. I couldn't remember if he was 1 or 2.
So we've only had 4 Twinborn.
Okay.
Like, I actually don't think there have been that many Twinborn in the series as a whole so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't have a problem with it. The way the
it just like saying it out loud. I was like, damn, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not that common, and there's so many options that like.
Yeah. Anyways, this terrorist lady cuts in and interrogates Wayne about how his powers work, and is like, hey, sorry, Wax. Oh no, okay, yeah, we're good.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I don't know what it was fine. Book club was fine for like weeks.
Well, we've never had it do this before. Come in and out like this. This is not OBS. Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to edit this so much for the podcast feed.
I know. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Jesus keeps spinning the wheel. Does he ever? No. I think so.
No, they're not. They're drilling into a door frame. They're
drilling into a door frame on the back wall. Yeah. They're not drilling into the internet. And if they were drilling into the internet, it would just stop. It wouldn't like come and go.
That would be weird.
I would hope. Okay. Back to book club.
So you think she's also an alien?
Yeah. I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's Yasna. Why is Yasna here?
I hope so.
Well, because she's like tall, hot, with like darker skin.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh, Yasna's here. Sick. Great.
All right.
Cool. She basically is like Cosmere stuff, investiture. Do you know Hoyd? Have you met our Lord and Savior Hoyd? And then she fucks off and is like, here's an address where you can send information. I want you to test your powers and send me information about what happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
relevant later, probably.
Relevant in the next book, I guess. I can't imagine they go back to fucking
Allendale right now?
I don't think the final chapter of this is going to be
going to Allendale?
Hey, lady, whose name I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Can we sit down and have a talk about how my powers work really quick?
Yeah.
And then Steris is like, also, we have an informant here, so let's go talk to him. Cool.
Yeah.
Marcy and Wayne are in the graveyard, and they find a guy, and they're like, hey, his name is Deschamps, because France. And they're like, hey, can you take us to this grave? And that guy is like, no. And they're like, what if we pay you? And he's like, all right. And then he sends this kid off to not do anything shady whatsoever, but just to make sure that no one sees that they're doing something shady.
Yeah, of course.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
And they go off to the grave. I like the idea here. I do enjoy the idea that they're like, we have to go check the unmarked graves first, because it would make sense that the spike would end up in a grave. Yeah. Because, like, what else do you do with a body part? They don't have crematoriums.
Yeah, they just kind of, there was an explosion, they kind of chucked everybody into a pile, and, like, this is what it is.
So we get to chapter 13, where Wax and has this conversation with this informant, and the informant's like sitting there, and Wax like walks over and pauses, and then the informant is like, come on over. And Wax walks over, and he's like, I didn't think that you were going to be so humble and not be like an arrogant prick and walk right over. And Wax is like, no, I am. I'm just not an asshole. Like, fuck.
How the fuck do people do shit here?
You're not the first confidential informant I've talked to, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he shows him the coin.
Yeah.
It's like, you got any more of these? And...
I like your Wax voice.
You got any more of these?
You got any more of these?
We find out that there are a bunch of them that are being sold on the black market. And Wax is like, that's weird. It's just a coin. Why would it be on the black market? Is it illegal? Is there a problem with it? That seems strange.
Nope. The set just does the weirdest shit. The set are the dumbest villains who succeed because it happened off page.
What do you mean?
The set's entire like modus operandi is we are going to do things in the shadiest possible way and just no one is going to notice.
We're gonna take over this town.
We're gonna
post an army around it.
But this series takes place in a world where no one is paying attention to fucking anything ever. And so the bad guys are able to get away with things because no one is aware of like massive troop movements in a basin.
This world seems very self-interested.
The basin seems like it is both incredibly large and also like it's so small that it seems like people should be aware of the fact that really fucked up things are happening everywhere that our main characters go. Everywhere our main characters go, they're like, wait a second. Everyone here is evil.
Kind of, yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean everyone here is a member of this secret evil organization?
Yeah.
And they have an army. Chris Buckington's like, they don't have radio. I know, but they have people moving around. I just, if an entire town was destroyed because, and maybe they killed everyone in the town, and maybe that's how word didn't get out.
Probably.
It doesn't.
Honestly, probably.
It doesn't really matter. This series needs to explain to me, because it hasn't yet, why Edwarn left his position as leader of the Ladrian family.
Oh, I thought that became clear in this section.
Oh, okay.
Because you and I talked about that.
I still don't get it.
So we were talking to ourselves. We were like, why did Edwarn leave his position of power and wealth to go and get himself a position of power and wealth? It's because he wants the fucking bands of Mourning to be a fucking immortal god. He wants to be God. There's a difference between being a nobleman and being God.
Right. I don't actually understand what giving up his seat in the Senate and his like political power publicly does to help him with that.
Well, it doesn't let him murder entire towns and set up operations where they study boats that crashed and
why not though? So here's my issue with Edwarn. He could have just been the leader of the Ladrian family.
Yeah, but if he's dead, he can get away with a lot more.
Or you can use your political power to direct resources away from investigating you. And instead
why investigate a dead man?
That's literally what our series is about.
Well, yeah, because Wax knows he's alive.
I know.
But the rest of the world doesn't.
But if Edward had just stayed as the head of the Ladrian family and done all of this shit secretly like real rich people do, Wax would have never ended up in the position where he would be investigating this stuff. Like, Wax is only investigating what is happening because Edwarn put him in a position to be wildly interested in what is happening. But if Edward had just stayed at the head of the Ladrian family, he could have run all of this shit in secret, and Wax would have just stayed in the roughs. But because Edward made the decision to leave his post, he set, like, in motion, and then kidnapping Wax's sister, right? He weirdly chose to bring into the story the only person that is investigating him. He could have just gotten away with everything.
Chad is saying he liquidated his wealth, and so he had to get out. Like, he couldn't stay as the head of the family because he needed to take everything that he could.
Ice Cream Sandwich, thank you so much for that comment. Because the story needed to happen, Nerdy, that's why.
Thank you. Our good friend Kevin in the chat, thank you.
I get it. I just think he's a bad rich. I think he's like a dumb rich person. Smart rich people know that you can fucking hide everything if you're rich. They're not going to investigate the rich people. He didn't need to do anything.
I mean, it's weird because normally I would be like, no, I can understand why, but this world definitely seems to have zero accountability if you are a part of a noble family. So, yeah.
Right. And so, but this is the point. He has no protection now because if the world finds out he's alive, he's the weird rich guy, even if they can't prove that he did anything wrong, him faking his own death removes his political ability to protect himself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he likes the game with Wax. Maybe this is like a Sherlock Holmes and what's his face situation where they just like it's like a battle, right? He's like, I want to prove myself against Wax and be like, fuck you.
Well, and previously in the series, I was like, well, he can't be in town. He has to like be places doing stuff. But like they literally have cell phones now. Like he actually doesn't need to be anywhere. He could have run all of this from his mansion. And so the more I'm like, he just kind of like was like, I'm gonna fuck off, create the scenario under which someone could stop me. And so I guess it's good that he created the scenario under which someone can stop him. But like, if he had just stayed in power, the governor was corrupt.
Sure, the governor was corrupt, but not like the set corrupt. You know what I mean? Like, or
everyone in Elendil was corrupt, and when the governor went down, the new leader was like, "We're not going to be able to stick any of them with anything."
I'm just saying it's possible. Maybe he like got scared and was like, "Nah, I'm out."
Yeah, maybe it's something like that. I find it very funny for him to be like, but the other thing about what he wants is
to be God.
Yeah, but he's not the whole set. So like, he's not. I don't think the leader of the set, right? Because I think Sequence is something.
It's him and Sequence seem to be the two heads of.
So are they gonna split the Bands of Mourning? I feel like Wax could fuck off and not do anything, and these two are gonna rip each other apart at the end.
Maybe.
Let them find the Bands of Mourning.
Here's the problem: we don't know what Sequence's motivation is, because obviously the scientist guy, his motivation is to heal himself, right? So right now we have 3 people who are kind of at the top of the food chain or around there. Set, I'm assuming, wants the Bands of Mourning to be God. Iris, or something starts with an I, wants to heal himself and not die. And so Sequence might have a totally other completely different goal that could be driven by exploration.
Yeah.
Or maybe he knows about the aliens, like, you know?
Yeah.
So it's tough to know because I don't think ever met this person. Unless Sequence is someone we have actually already met.
Yeah, it would be... There's a world where it could be someone. I don't know who it would be, though. Mm-hmm. There's no person we've met yet, other than Aradel, who would be like a wild twist to be Sequence, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, that would be.
Aradel's kind of the only one that would be like, or not Aradel. What was the guy that Marcy pushed to be in charge after Aradel rose? What was that cop's name that's now that...
yeah.
Fuck, what is his name? The one who didn't like her and then now is...
Yeah, he's kind of annoying. Chat's also bringing up the point that Wax wasn't supposed to inherit after Set. That Set's son got ill and died, and then Wax came back.
Yeah.
So Set,
but
leaving didn't open up the door for Wax to come back.
No, his son died before Set faked his death.
Was that before or after?
No, it was before.
Well, man, maybe the plan was already in motion. Judah, thank you for that super chat. This is one of our frustrations with this era, is we know shockingly little about how and why the set operates. They both have vast resources and not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. One of my problems with the set as a whole is that it seems like they want to be in charge, but their characters are all characters that are already in charge.
Well, here's the thing. Before we introduced the Bands of Mourning, I was like, yeah, I don't know why Edwarn would leave his position of power and wealth. But now I'm like, oh, he's trying to be God.
Yes, and that would work for me if the set was like suits this charismatic leader that people are following. But it seems to me like the set is a group of people that are working together for goals.
Yeah, they've convinced people that Elendil is corrupt and bad and that they need to fight against them. So they're paying
so that
money.
they can be in charge, but they already are in charge.
In charge of what?
The world, so the
No.
I mean, the set already had one of the leaders of the five richest the five families that run Ellendale as one of them, right? They functionally had the power to make the world what they wanted it to be, right?
Not
and so
really.
if
If you only have 1 vote out of 5, you're not getting much done.
in a world where you're that rich and every single person in government is corrupt,
but also rich.
And this is where I don't get what they want. If they want to be in power, they were. And when we come to this city, the richest people in this city also set, right? So if their goal is to run shit, then they already were running shit. And so their goal just has to be something else. But if that something else is that they want for one of their members to have superpowers, then but then only one of them gets superpowers. But if the goal is to breed Allomancers so that in 3 generations a different group of people have superpowers, that to me is a very strange goal.
It's not about breeding them. Exactly. It's about using hemalurgy to give their powers to other people.
Right, but
they're gonna stake babies.
No, but you can't stake the babies.
Why?
You have to wait until they're old enough to know what their powers are. So you're basically that is a 20-year goal.
That is one of the weird things that has not been explained in this series so far is the snap that was introduced in Mistborn Era 1.
Does it still exist? Yeah, I agree with that.
We don't know whether or not that exists, so we actually don't know how people discover their allomantic abilities in this world.
James Ross says, this is read and find out stuff, nerdy, no need to start over yet. I mean, I think that establishing the motivations of the bad guys in book 4 is too late. I think that being it's no, it's a read and find out for the villains that were introduced in book 1 for 2 books later for you to still be I don't know what they want. I don't know why they're doing anything. They just seem to be evil. Is and this is a problem I do have with Brandon Sanderson writing as a whole is that for him sometimes why people do things is the twist.
Is saved until the end, and that can be a little frustrating along the way.
And I understand why on a reread that's fun because you're but as a first time reader of the book, I'm going, why are these characters doing any of this?
Yeah.
What possible purpose could you have to be evil when you were already in power?
Yeah.
I don't that doesn't really make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get what that's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so sometimes when these books treat motivation as the twist, I spend a lot of the book being I guess they would do that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess they would do that. I guess they would do that. And so it just kind of builds up and then when the dam breaks, a lot of time at the end of these books, I go, oh yeah, I guess that was why they did all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
As opposed to kind of being on the ride a little bit more. But this is book 3. I just want to know kind of what they want to do.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Kind of. And now we have people from another continent. There's so many motivations now, and I still don't even know what our the characters we're following want, let alone what this fucking we're starting to introduce other continents and other worlds into this series before we've even explained why anyone here is doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where I think Mistborn Era 2 gets a little bit fuzzy, is that book 1 is so simple and I understood everybody and why they were in conflict made so much sense and I loved it.
Yeah.
The twists came about in the way in which they interacted and the way those motivations ran into one another was wonderful and fascinating. Mm-hmm. And I think that in book 2 and 3, why people are doing things isn't as solid.
Yeah.
And so when they're running into one another, book 2, the Alm stuff was interesting, and it definitely got good, and I enjoyed it. But the why of this looming secret organization is so weirdly nebulous to me that I'm that I don't really care about them fighting them as much. I'm go solve the mysteries. I don't need more firefights that are just firefights to have a cool action scene right now. I don't know why you're doing this yet.
Well, we know like why our main characters are doing what they're doing.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're on this mission from God, right?
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, they literally are.
No, Caesar, no.
They're literally on a mission from God.
Wax is like, no, God and I, we don't fuck. We're not homies anymore.
Oh, totally. But Harmony has manipulated him into this still. Wax does not want to work for Harmony, and Harmony is working overtime to force Wax to work for him.
I just thought it was that Suit took his sister.
Sure. But like, I guess I'm just a fucking conspiracy theorist in this world now, where I'm like, of course, Telson is in the photo. Harmony fucking made sure that she was, so that Wax would end up on the mission.
That's the slope.
And
that is the slippery slope.
This is where I'm going full conspiracy theory. That Sazed was like, fuck, Wax is so mad at me. I need to make sure that this photo gets taken at the right moment, so that Wax will end up on the mission later.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is possible.
Or sorry, Enneagram.
I just don't understand like why Sazed hates the rest of the world so much that he's like, yeah, no, they're gonna live in like really harsh, terrible conditions.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. That's a whole other conversation.
We're still the conversation with Caddis. With the Devlin. Devlin is like, I'm out. I don't want to do this shit anymore. Everyone's going to war.
Yeah.
Some local mayor gets up at this party and starts talking about how we're going to war.
Yeah.
The people in Ellendale have
like,
no clue about any of this.
Yeah.
So the Civil War's coming, and so he goes off and he talks to the person who's running this party.
Calasina.
And he's like, hey, you ever seen one of these?
It's pretty cool. Pretty nifty little trinket I got here. And she's like, I need to leave.
I need to go powder my nose.
Yeah. And so Wax is able to kind of follow where she goes.
No, he's not. He goes over to Steris and he's like, hey, Steris.
Right. That was it.
We need to go, but we can't make it look like we're leaving. And she's like, oh, great. I brought Ipecac.
I have a diversion. You're welcome.
One of the things that I thought in this moment that I wanted to be true was that she kept it in a vial in her purse, very similar to the ones that have his medals.
Yeah.
And that at some point later on in this book, she will hand him a vial of medals, and it will be Ipecac.
Oh, no.
And Wax will end up vomiting on the battlefield.
No.
I want it so bad.
She's too organized for that.
I know, but it would just be so funny if in the heat of the moment, she accidentally hands him Ipecac instead of his medals.
Yeah.
It was the, first thing that I thought in this moment.
Oh, no, that'd be great. Anyway, she vomits everywhere. And they...
Boy, howdy does she.
Yeah, they, take her to a room.
Steris is the fucking best.
I wonder how many times we're going to say that.
I don't know, man, but I love this character.
But it's not enough.
I don't know that I would like Mistborn Era 2 as much if it weren't for her. She is like the... But partially because it's not that everyone else is bad. It's just that there's a lot of very tropey and sort of archetypal characters here.
Yeah.
Wax is very archetypal. He's Batman. He's not... There's nothing that Wax does, other than some of the way he uses his powers, that I haven't seen a character be like him before.
Yeah.
Teris to me is the character in Mistborn Era 2 who feels like something I've not read before.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much there's this level of excitement that she gets with Wax's powers. There is a genuine self-defeatism in her that is so sad and so undeserved, but is consistent across the book, right? Mm-hmm. There's so many ways in which she is interacting with the plot that she's surprising, but also very, consistent. I just love her. And so she is, because of her uniqueness, she feels special to this series in a way that the other characters feel like characters I have read before.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make them bad, because I think they're mostly good representations of those character archetypes.
Yeah.
But Steris is just, she's different.
Yeah.
She's built different.
Luz Barrows, thank you for that super chat. Steris is best girl. That is just straight up facts. Yeah. No, Steris is the best part of the book, hands down.
Yeah.
So we cut over to Marcy, who is just like chilling around the graveyard. There's a statue of Vin in like the poor graveyard section. Because earlier they walked past the statue of Kelsier, right?
Yeah, and he looked pissed.
Yeah, Kelsier is was a lot. Kelsier was a lot, okay. But Vin is here for the people who, she's a symbol for everybody.
Yeah.
And not just the wealthy or the elite or the powerful. She truly was... What she did for every single person on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Then she gets back to the grave, and Wayne pulls her into the grave, and shots get fired. Pew pew.
Wait, that kid was sent off to go bring in people to come kill us? Ah, damn it. How did we not think of that?
I know. Should have shot that kid before he alerted the authorities.
And so we start playing speed bubble games. Wayne gets shot 4 times.
Yeah.
But he heals.
Yeah, it just takes a minute.
Yeah, he's fine. And things start to go crazy when they toss dynamite at them.
Yeah. Yeah, the speed bubble goes up and the dynamite's like there. They also totally just kill the gravedigger. They don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah. No, the Deschamps is just blasted
just
through.
Dead.
The set clearly is, they don't give a fuck about these people getting caught, which I think is very surprising.
Oh, yeah.
Because the dynamite explodes, and there's loud noises, and the cops are drawn to the position. We cut over to Wax. They leave Steris in a room waiting for their coach, and he starts going up to follow Cassandra, or whatever the fuck her name was. Calicina? That's it. And they overhear this speech from this mayor who's like, we're gonna fucking blow the shit out of Ellendale.
Yeah.
We're going to war.
We're taking them down.
And it really is... Yeah. Wax, you gotta start paying attention to the politics of your city. You gotta maybe go to some of these meetings, man.
Seems pretty important. Anyways, Steris gives him a gun that she taped to her thigh.
Oh, yeah. And
like taped, like aggressively. Like it takes like some time to get it off of there. Because she was like, I just kept picturing it like falling off my leg while I was dancing or something. And so I really made sure that it was stuck on there real good.
Yeah. And she tried, I love the bit about her being like, I tried walking with a shotgun, but I couldn't walk normally.
Yeah, because it would go past your knee, so your leg like wouldn't be able to bend.
You could have a sawed off. I think the problem is actually more, it's not the length. Because you can have a sawed off.
You could.
But, well, you can
your femurs are long.
You can make a shotgun pretty short by sawing off the barrel.
Right.
It reduces the range of it. But
sure.
The problem is more the thickness. Like, unless you have the craziest thigh gap in history.
Yeah.
I also loved, there's so many every Star Wars moment's great. But Wax being like, she was wearing shorts. She probably thought that I was going to have to see up her skirt.
She also was wearing 2 pairs of shorts, just in case.
Yeah.
I want her to have a gun taped to her thigh on her wedding night so bad. I think that is hilarious.
She probably did for the...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he goes up and that's it. He takes the gun and starts listening to the speech as he heads up. We cut back to Marcy, and they are... This fight does not last very long. The cops show up and arrest the set.
Yeah, because they fucking throw a stick of dynamite.
Yeah. And we cut back to Wayne and Marcy in the Gravekeeper's little shack, doing a little investigation, looking around. And Wayne manages to find the liquor, which is hidden better than the ledger book.
Which he found ages ago. Yeah,
which he had previously found but did not tell Marcy about because comedy.
Yeah.
But a joke that I actually liked. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not... This is the version of Wayne that I like, where it's like a minor annoyance, but he's doing his job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is kind of, I think, the better use of what Brandon Sanderson created in this character that isn't just like rampant sexism that nobody addresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Marcy gets an idea.
Yeah.
What that idea is, don't know.
Chapter 15.
We'll find out later. Chapter 15. We start with Templeton Fig.
Yeah, the fucking hoity-toity motherfucker from the party was a dick and insulted Steris, so we fucking hate him.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we hate this guy. Anyways, he collects albino animals?
Kind of rad. I'm not gonna lie. Look, taxidermy's weird, and I don't want anything taxidermied in my house. But seeing the occasional taxidermy thing, there's two kinds of taxidermy that I like, right? One is really, really good taxidermy, where, God, it is an animal in motion. It evokes a moment of true life. And you are picturing something that you could never get this close to because it would rip your face off.
Like in a museum.
The other kind of taxidermy that I love is when they really fuck it up. And you genuinely wonder if the person who taxidermied that fox has any concept of what a fox looks like. And you just spend an hour staring at an image on Twitter of someone's hours, days of work, only to create the most cursed and insane object that should never have existed. That truly brings me more joy than any good taxidermy ever could. And I'm so grateful for the hubris of, let's be honest, mostly white men who think they're good at a hobby that they're not good at, and they post it confidently on the internet. I'm grateful to them because God, does it make me feel good.
Jesus Christ.
It does. It brings me a lot of joy. I'm like, you spent a lot of time and effort on that, and that looks bad.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Taxidermy, yeah. You've never seen... Oh my God, wait.
No, I don't really look at taxidermy. I don't look at taxidermy things that often. Judah, thank you for that super chat. Gave Entrone insulted Steris, not taxidermy guy. Oh, never mind. I thought it was... Oh.
This one is so good. This is terrible podcast content, but oh my God, it's so good.
Sure. Anyways,
this is the famous lion. There's like a famous bit of lion taxidermy. I don't know if it's gonna focus. There it goes.
Wow, that's something.
That it brings me so much joy because I'm like, have you just never seen a lion? Like,
yeah.
How did this happen? Judah Cat is there. Thank you for that super chat. Gave Entrone insulted Steris, not taxidermy guy. I thought they were the same person.
Yeah, no, so did I.
Anyway, so he's admiring his taxidermy. His wife is like, "Are you gonna go to bed?" And he's like, "Fuck you."
Pretty much, yeah.
I need to stare at my taxidermy more. But then we find out that it's not actually his taxidermy he's staring at. He is pacing in the room that brings him zen, calmness, because he's like, God damn it, I really hope they killed those motherfuckers at the graveyard.
Yeah.
The set needed me to kill the motherfuckers at the graveyard. Gotta kill the motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then what appears outside of his window?
Marsh. Marsh shows up. Yeah, he's like, hey.
Templeton.
Hey, buddy, you got one of my spikes?
Templeton. Where is my spike?
I love the drama of this moment so much.
I was almost out.
You thought it was Marsh?
If it was actually Marsh, and Marsh was a member of the set, I was like, what are we doing?
No.
The reveal that it was Wayne was so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. Yeah.
And then the joke later where she's like, how many times do you think you're gonna have to impersonate death? And he's like, well, it's been 4 so far. So, and I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No. This was the kind of reveal. Loved it.
Yeah.
Super on board.
This is fabulous.
Honestly, the whole Wayne Mercy section here is great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I dug it.
And all the new series, other than Hoyd giving the coin, I actually think all of the new Saren stuff I really loved. I really enjoyed.
Yeah. No, there's great humorous moments.
Yeah.
Things moved along,
mm-hmm.
Because of Hoyd. But still, like, the actual moment-to-moment of stuff was great. Figuring out, like, starting to broaden the horizon, see the bigger picture was really helpful.
Yeah.
So I did quite enjoy that. I also love that, like, Wayne fully, like, stabbed through his arm for the bit. And, like, wasted, like, some of his healing powers for...
Well, they have this new bracelet now, so it's all gonna be fine.
He doesn't have it yet.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, Maricy's like, oh, yeah, I actually met Death. And Wayne is like, how did he speak? And Maricy's like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Can you recreate his accent?
Yeah. It was incredible.
No, I did like that. He's like, I have to portray this person that no one could ever possibly know if I got it right or not. Like,
yeah.
The accent thing is fun because he's like, I want to sound authentic to... I thought it was about sound authentic to the people he's talking to, but he just wants to feel authentic for himself.
Oh, yeah, this is for him. Nobody else.
Purely vanity.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. And so they find out that the spike was sent to Dulcing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? I'm not sure.
To the set?
But why not send it to the second? Maybe the spike. Maybe Suit was. Maybe Edwarn was at the first site when the spike got taken. I was a little confused about this because I understand that the ship is in Dulcing.
Uh-huh. I don't think Calcino is like involved enough to know where the second location is.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Right? Like, the less people who know where you are and what your plans are, the easier you can get away with shit. So.
And it does seem like Suit keeps coming to Dulcing.
Yeah, and Calcino is clearly disposable.
I'm curious how Suit is getting around.
He's flying. I don't know.
No, he can't fly.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder how Suit's getting around.
He has a personal coin shot.
Because it seems like he's coming back and forth between the first and second... Well, yeah, but a coin shot can't get him around, right? Like, the only reason Wax is able to fly up to the second site is because they have the ship.
Yeah.
But Suit doesn't have one of those. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, it was... Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I was just... Once we got reveals later on, I was like, oh, why aren't they funneling everything to where... Yeah. Why doesn't Suit have it? Why would it? But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dulcing is
where they're headed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wax is sneaking around, trying to figure out where Calcina went. And he's hearing the speech about the oppression of Elendel and blah blah blah. And then he hears his uncle talking to Calcina. He's like, that's weird. My uncle sounds like quieter than her. Like, that's super strange. So he sneaks into where they're talking and can listen in.
Yeah.
They talk about the train heist. That they're trying to distract Wax. They're trying to throw things in his path to distract him and take on other things, which is why Ape... They're like they said Ape was in the city like fucking shit up, which is his like arch nemesis or whatever. They did the train thing, like all the Elendel stuff, like it's to try and get Wax to follow a different lead and leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like Wax has almost been distracted several times, you know.
Yeah, it makes enough sense.
It's almost worked.
My complaint about, like, this book is just opening up a lot of plot lines. It wasn't. They weren't plot lines.
No, they were just trying to, like, fuck with Wax.
When they do... Oh, yeah, we totally see about that. When they get to New Saren, there's this guy... We didn't even talk about it.
No, because it's not important.
Yeah, this guy, Ape Mantum's here. He's killing Allomancers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
They had been providing enrichment for Wax's enclosure. Kind of.
Yeah, pretty much.
But also there was something on the train that they needed.
There's a device that they talked about, which we have no specifics on yet. But yeah, there was something important on the train that they were like, well, it was worth trying to recover it. What?
It was the box.
What box?
The one that Maricy gets from...
No. They already had that. They took that to the train. There was something else on the train that is important. No,
they got that on the train.
They got the little cube on the train?
Yeah, because they say that, because they're mad that, Well, oh my god, what's that doctor's name?
Iric.
Because he's mad at Iric because Iric lost it on the train.
Yeah.
The device that he because Calicina's like, we sent him to go get the thing from the train.
Yeah.
He got it and then immediately lost it.
Wait, why was that on the train?
I don't know why it was on the train, but it was on the train.
I thought they were trying to get something else from the train, but those little boxes they found on the ship and took with them. The little Almancy boxes.
No, because they say that Iric went to the train, got the thing, and then immediately lost it. And the only thing that they lost on the train was the box. That's the only thing that Mercy had from them. So that had to be what they got from the train. Right?
Okay,
unless he lost something else from the train. Unless am I completely misunderstanding this?
I thought there was like a big device thing that they were trying to get.
Yeah,
right?
The box.
They threw him off the train. No, it's small. That's small. They talked about like a... They talked about like a big... They talked about that the train was worth the risk because there was something else on the train that they were also after.
Yes, but that Iric found it and then immediately lost it.
Yeah, but that's not... But that little box, he says that they found those on the boat. So that can't be also on the train. It has to be another thing that probably is related. But I don't think
I thought the box was... Okay. I don't know. Then I don't know what they're looking for. Because...
I don't think we know. I'm pretty sure that is not revealed to us yet. Yeah.
Then I conflated those two items together.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
I see exactly what you did there.
Anyway, Wax busts in and is like, I got you now. Oh, what the fuck? And there's another box.
There's another box. And it's a radio.
Yeah.
It's a radio.
Sazed was so certain that they didn't have it yet. But it's right here.
Yeah.
Unless Trell is hiding the set from Sazed, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so Edward is like, hey, hello. Oh, you found us. Oh no, we have to change all of our plans.
Ha, you found me. Judah, thank you for that super chat. My understanding is they were trying to distract Wax and do something on the train. Eric found the cube on the ship, and Eric used it because he's a leecher. Yeah,
but there was something in that one... There was something in the vault on the train that they needed.
Yeah. And I think it was something other than the little Almancy box.
All right, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
So then, before he enters the room, there is actually a great moment where Wax throws a coin on the ground and then launches himself up into the air and is like pushing himself up to the ceiling while a maid walks underneath him and she doesn't look up. This is a great example of the I'm gonna hang on to the roof, but this time it actually makes sense because most of the time when you see that in movies, it's like
how did you?
How?
Yeah.
How are you?
No, Wax can pull off that trope for sure. But yeah, he bops down to confront them, and we get to chapter 16. Wax is like, where is my sister? Where are you holding her? And doesn't get to do very much because the steward that runs in to tell them about Wax missing and Steris being sick. Turns out that she is a ferrochemist. And
she gets big.
She just fucking
muscle mommy.
Decks him. Just literally slaps the gun out of his hand and then shoots Calicina with it. And it's like, oh my god, Waxilium murdered Our Lady. Oh my gosh. So this was clearly the plan all along, which is why I say Lady Calicina was disposable.
I don't think this was the plan all along.
Oh, I think that this was a plan between Suit and this maid. Was like, if anything happens, if Wax is there and finds anything out, we frame him for her murder. You kill her, we frame her for the murder. Like that, it seems like a long-standing plan that they had in place.
Interesting. I kind of thought this was her riffing.
She's just winging it?
I mean...
No, I think this was Suit.
Maybe. What a wild... In the off chance that Wax shows Calicina the coin so that she goes up to her room to call me mid-party, which she's not supposed to do, and he follows her up there, overhears that conversation...
No, none of the rest of that matters. If they find Wax listening in and hearing information that he is not supposed to, and they can reasonably frame him for the murder, in a room that there are no other people in, then they do it, right? Bring Wax to the party, frame him for the murder of Lady Calacina.
I mean,
that seems to be a great way to really hinder Wax being able to have access to any kind of resources from Elendel.
Driving me crazy.
Oh, and we're back. Okay. Sorry.
God, editing this. Actually, I'm gonna write down that time, 1:31.
Yeah.
If
nightmare,
you're at the point where this is a plan that you're talking about, what other plans have you had to talk about before this?
Oh, plenty. Suit is very plans on plans on plans.
You know what I mean? Like, at the point where Suit is having a conversation with the steward about there being an opportunity to frame Wax for murder.
Oh, I'm assuming
that is hyper specific.
I'm assuming he, like, put the steward there. He's the one collecting Allomancers, and he's like, hey, Lady Calacina, I'm gonna replace your steward with a Ferrochemist to protect you.
No, I get
right?
that. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, this seemed more like, yeah. Yeah. No, you're probably right. The suit do kind of exist. The suit do kind of exist in this, like, supernatural level of plans.
Yeah.
Where, like, it seems kind of unreasonable for these people to have discussed everything that they're doing. But they do because it's a book.
I mean, I don't think it's out of... I think it is actually, like, a very reasonable thing that Suit was like, hey, Waxilium's coming to your party. If you can frame him for the murder of Lady Calacina, do it. Like, it doesn't even need to be hyper-specific. If he is in a room with her, alone, and you can, like...
I just don't know why you would assume that would happen.
And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Right, so again, like, that would be, like, the 15th plan you would need to talk about, because you have to plan for all the things that would happen in the middle of the floor first.
In the middle of the floor?
Well, yeah, like, there wasn't a private meeting at this party supposed to happen. It only happens because Wax gets the coin from Hoyd. She wasn't supposed to walk out of the party.
But they don't know how much Wax knows. We know that Wax got the information from Hoyd, but the set doesn't know how much Wax knows. And so him showing up with this coin, that is news to them, but they don't know how he got it.
100%, but it's the only reason why they end up in a private room together. They're not supposed to be in a private room together.
Well, here's the thing. Lady Calacina, it is perfectly reasonable that she would be, like, in and out of the party. And I just think that there's no reason that they couldn't be like, yeah, if they are, like, in a room together and you can get Wax's gun, fucking kill her.
So many weird ifs to me. But, yeah.
I think that Mr. Suit and Steris would actually get along pretty well.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think it would be really weird to be having a conversation with your boss and they're like, so this party's coming up.
If there's
Wax
a
is gonna be there.
dude who starts sniffing around where he shouldn't be, frame him for murder.
If you find Wax in a room alone with this woman he has no reason to be alone with.
What do you mean? She's the host of the
party. Attack
him.
He has no reason to be alone in a room with.
She's on their list of people they're investigating.
I know, I understand that. But you're telling your steward, in that off chance that happens, you need to bulk up, get his gun, shoot her, and then frame him for murder.
Yeah, that seems totally reasonable to me.
That seems like a rift. We need to move on from this. It doesn't matter. We're just going to disagree with this. It doesn't matter.
Steris did predict it, Blue Sparrows. You are correct. That's why Steris is the best.
Steris did predict it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And Roach, I agree with if you have a chance, kill him. If not, frame him for murder. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We need to fucking move on.
This just seems like perfect sense to me. Look,
Olivier Leduc brings up why I think it sounds so micromanaged by Suit, which he's not here, and so, like, there has to be some level of this can't be that Edwarn is running everything everywhere, because then it gets into the like the villain is in too many places problem.
They have radio now.
I know, but it is one of the problems with Moriarty, right? In Sherlock Holmes stories. And honestly, in the Sherlock Holmes world, it's the problem with Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Is that intelligence does not give you access to information inherently. And so there is the problem of like Sherlock Holmes can't actually know as much about London as he knows, because it is actually just impossible from an amount of time perspective to be as traveled within one city as the character needs to be for him to be like, they put a hood on my face, but as we rumbled down the street, I felt the cobblestone that I know exists on this street, and then we turned left and I smelled this bakery on this street, which I know is the smell, and you...
I don't think any of those things happen in Sherlock Holmes.
Both of those things literally happen in, that is like directly from the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh, I don't remember those ones.
Yeah.
My Sherlock Holmes reference is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right, which is not Sherlock Holmes. Right, that's Sherlock. Modern day is very different. Because there's modern day, there's a lot more information that you can quickly download out of the internet.
Yeah.
But
that's what I thought you were referring to. So that makes more sense.
There's an element of like how much information can a person connect to, and how many plans can they be involved in. At some point, they have to delegate something. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Ed Warren is the framing happens, and Wax has got to go. He's got to run. He steals the talkie box, so he has a walkie-talkie now, and he flees. And then what happens? Oh my God! Big strong lady's chasing him. Who stops her? Milan. How does she do that? By getting punched in the fucking head. The lady fucking cracks her in the skull. And despite the fact that this lady is a ferrochemist and should be more powerful, she's the one who screams. Why? Because Milan's skull is made out of fucking aluminum. Milan has an aluminum body, you guys. A full aluminum body. This is the coolest shit ever. And I also love Wax being like, God, that must have cost you so much money. And she's like, yeah, I'm 700 years old, Wax. I've had time. And, Milan then rips off her arm. And what's inside of the arm? A sword. Milan has officially become the greatest character ever.
Oh, yeah. She's basically Wolverine.
Yeah.
I love it. I wonder, like, who made these bones? Like, who, like, could you imagine you're like a metalsmith, I guess. I don't know. And someone's like, I need you to make me a human skeleton.
I mean, Milan might have.
Maybe?
She's 700. What? She probably knows more about metal casting than any human alive.
Yeah,
she
maybe.
Doesn't need much sleep.
She's got to have hobbies.
Yeah. It's sort of like, in Twilight, when Bella's like, wait, you play the piano so beautifully. And Edward's like, yeah, I'm 118.
Yeah.
I don't sleep and I'm 118. I don't know, like, I have to do something with my time.
Yeah.
I can only play Super Mario 64 so many times, Bella. I've beaten every level. I've played every video game.
God, I would love to have the time to play every video game.
I really want to, like, be a vampire and then just use the fact that I don't need to sleep to just be the best at MMORPGs, where, like, other people have to go to bed and so they can't be as good as I am at, like, EVE Online.
Sure. Yeah. We're aiming for the stars here.
I don't know. I feel like after a century, it'd be like, I don't really care about politics anymore. They're going to go to war again soon. I'm just going to, like, be the best World of Warcraft player.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Honestly, why not? Oh, man. This fight is a lot of fun. Milan is such a fucking badass.
James Ross says aluminum is soft and bends easily though. Not sure how you would do an aluminum sword either. It's way too soft and flexible for that. No, like it's too soft and flexible to like go metal to metal, like to block.
Oh, I wouldn't use it in a sword fight.
To stab someone, I mean, it's not. You can stab someone with aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how that would be a problem.
Or cut them, even like.
Yeah, I would assume it's not that sharp on the sides. I would assume this sword is mostly a puncture weapon.
You'd have to be careful not to like hit bone.
No, I think that I think if you were trying to slash at someone with aluminum, I think that this is one of those cases where it is mostly for stabbing.
Yeah.
It would bend if struck anything? I don't think so.
Lacrosse sticks are aluminum and they hold up well. Yeah, okay.
Are lacrosse sticks aluminum?
I don't know.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought they were like carbon fiber.
No idea.
And I played lacrosse for years.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You never talk about lacrosse?
Lacrosse was the sport that I played between roller hockey and hockey just to be in the net. I literally played lacrosse because it was like reflex training for when hockey season started.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I played lacrosse like my year for like 8 years was literally like hockey season. It might have actually been hockey, lacrosse, roller hockey. Because I think roller hockey was in the summer. So yeah, I was goaltending for like 5 months in hockey season, and then like 2 months of lacrosse, and then summer ice hockey camps, and then roller hockey. I think was how it was.
Sure.
But yeah, I was a really good lacrosse goalie. I just hated it because it hurts so fucking much.
Yeah.
All of the pad in the world, pucks when you're in like ice hockey pads, it almost feels good, like because it doesn't hurt, but the impact, you're like, I've got the save. Like there's just something about it. It's different.
Okay.
Lacrosse goaltending is just welts, man, because the ball flies so fast and at weird angles. Like the puck typically is coming either at your big pads on your legs, or it kind of has this up angle, and so a lot of your pads are built for that.
Oh.
Lacrosse balls are just coming from everywhere, and they bounce. Like you get hit in the back of the head a lot in lacrosse because they'll bounce off the backboards. It's just a very different kind of goaltending, and I did it because it was good reflex training. But like, fuck, man, there would be times where I would like take off my fucking pads, and I would just have these big bruises from where I would take balls to the chest. Anyway.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I love the sport though. Lacrosse is so fun. And I miss playing it, honestly. But yeah, and I never loved it as much as hockey. Like,
yeah,
it was training. It was to keep me in shape for hockey season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So they flee, and Wax steals a gold bracelet off of the steward's body, and is like, "What the fuck? This is a metal mind."
Crazy, but I can feel.
That's weird.
That's very strange.
That's strange.
Huh.
And then luckily, Steris had the wherewithal to go outside and hide in a bush.
Yep. So he picks up Steris. They like fly away, and he's like, they like go like above the cloud line, the mist line, whatever they call that. And he's like, wait, this woman is the best. She's like real hot, real smart, and real unique. And so he kisses her. And I'm like, I don't know how you beat that as a first kiss. Like,
I really don't. I love this moment
in the air
so much.
Yeah.
This was hot, Wax.
Yeah.
This was the move.
Yeah, you crushed it.
I could have done this in high school, I would have done this to every girl I dated.
We're just gonna fly up.
Hey, babe.
Above the mist.
You wanna go see above the mist line? We'll go hover in the air a little bit.
Hot. Kinky.
Oh my god, I would have gotten laid so much. I mean, I slept on a lot in high school. I guess it wouldn't have been that different, but it would have been a great...
You had a movie theater to show off,
I
so...
did.
Yeah, you already had a party trick.
That was a good move.
Yeah, no.
Do you want to go see a movie alone at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Calgary's
Cineplex,
boring.
for legal reasons, that is a joke.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure I'm outside the statute of limitations on anything Cineplex could be mad at me for.
That's true, yeah.
Hey, I balanced those books when our general manager was not going to.
Yeah. They
I
owe
saved
you.
that theater.
Honestly, yeah, they fucking owe you.
He's a general manager at a different theater in Calgary now, and I cannot believe he still works for the company. He is so incompetent.
He learned how to balance the books after 15 years.
I mean, I think it's probably digital now. I think it's probably very different than when I was there.
Sure.
But God, was he useless. Anyway.
We go back to Wayne at the hotel. Reading a novel about rocket ships or something?
He was reading about spaceflight. Which...
was a weird foreshadowing.
I was like, is this Treasure Planet?
Yeah, that's what you thought it was. And I was like, I think so.
But then we find a rocket ship later on in this... The foreshadowing here was wild.
Yeah, it was an odd one. Anyways, Wax and Steris bust through the window, share all the info that they've got, and get the fuck out of there because Wax is going to be arrested for murder. Which
is interesting, right? Because one of the things that I thought they could have done here is they could have had this relationship that Mercy's built up with the constables by working with them tonight.
Yep.
Could have meant something, but but we had to move on. There wasn't a way for us to kind of do that. Which is fine.
No, things were moving too fast. So.
Someone with no name says Era 2 is the slog of the Cosmere. Definitely isn't.
No.
These books are so short. I don't know if you remember the slog. The slog was so.
The slog was like 3,500 pages.
The slog. Every book of the slog was longer than every Mistborn Era 2 book combined.
Yeah.
I would read Mistborn Era 2 1,000 times.
Before I'd read Crossroads of Twilight.
That
again.
one, yeah. Fucking...
Jesus Christ.
And I'm going to read that again. I want to go do a reread review of all those for the other channel. But, of the entire Wheel of Time. But, the slog... No. This isn't a slog. I don't think these books are brilliant.
No.
I think that Mistborn Era 2 is they're
fun.
Good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good books. They're just not the to the quality I think of some of his other writing. But to call it, these books are such easy reads. I think this audiobook's only 20 hours. At 2 times speed, I think you can fucking cruise through this thing.
Yeah, if you think this is a slog, you have never encountered the slog.
Yeah, I don't think it's the most brilliant Brandon Sanderson writing, but it's too fast to call it a slog. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And also, shit happens. The reason why the slog is the slog of the Wheel of Time is because
nothing fucking happens.
Nothing happens. There's a whole book that is just the random shit people do for 8 days after this one event that isn't even in that book.
Yeah.
And in those 8 days, the world doesn't change because... anyway, we can't talk about Wheel of Time. Unless... we had a question. Would people be interested in a live about the first 3 episodes this weekend?
Wheel of Time.
Clark and I have only seen episode 1 and 2, but if we went live, hopefully without the internet dropping out every 10 minutes, if we went live, would people be interested in a 90-minute 3-episode chat after our episode 3 reaction is live?
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a spoiler chat with you guys about the show.
We were thinking about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know. We'll ask the Discord and see if there's enough interest.
Mary says hell yes, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be Sunday.
Yeah.
Give people time to watch the show.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people need to be interested in the show and have the time to watch it. So
our episode 2 reaction is going to go live at 2:00, so in an hour here. And I gotta say, I think that I'm weirdly optimistic after 2 episodes. I definitely have problems with the show still, and I don't think they've fully course corrected to being something that I love in its entirety. But moment to moment, I think the scenes thus far in season 2 have been really good, or season 3 have been really good.
Yeah.
And so I'm weirdly optimistic. I'm hopeful episode 3 kind of keeps me on this. I feel like I'm on an upward trajectory so far in season 3.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to watch episode 3 sometime later today.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we cut over to Wax, who is in a carriage smoking a cigar that he thought he was out of.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't get this.
I don't know. It felt like a weird... Now, knowing what I know about what happens immediately afterwards, it feels like a weird goodbye to this pulpy Western era. They were like, well, he's got to smoke a cigar before we change genres.
That's an interesting point. I like that.
Yeah. In the moment, I didn't realize that's what it was, but now I'm like,
And so Milan is like, are we going back to Elendel? And he's like, we should go back to Elendel and tell Aradel that we're going to war.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. We're going to
also,
Dulcing.
Fuck you, God, and I hate you.
Part 3, Chapter 17. Marcy has a lovely little moment where she's sitting in a coach with her sister and her former crush, watching them canoodle. Little couples canoodle in the back of this carriage.
Yeah.
She's also, unfortunately, listening to Milan and Wayne make out while they try and drive the coach, which, unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Unfortunate for Marcy. Great for Wayne and Milan. Like, get your snog on. And Wax tells kind of a story about him going to the roughs because he wanted to be Indiana Jones, and then kind of becoming the lawman by mistake, which he should have realized because he knew that he was a narc. And he's okay with that.
Yeah. He's accepted that about himself. And
I wouldn't, but, he is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, Marcy is fiddling around with this little allomancy cube.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's a little switch. Okay.
She also realizes that she's not jealous.
Yeah, she's not
She's
into
over Wax.
She
Thank God.
She realizes that there's a difference between, like, having a crush on someone and, like, admiring them for the things that they do. Yeah.
And I was
very mature.
Thrilled.
It's very mature.
No love triangle here, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing shit that's not going to piss me off.
We tried it in Mistborn Era 1 and we went, nope.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But yeah, she starts fucking around with this little box and she nearly kills the horses. Because she does
He nearly kills all of them, to be honest.
Yeah. But they're not attached to anything. The horses are, like, attached to the carriage, and so them being, like, jolted like that would probably be, like, really awful.
Yeah.
Because there's the...
She drops a speed bubble.
Yeah, the speed bubble, so something super fast doesn't...
Well, it starts because she is fiddling with the cube and finds a little switch.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, she flips the switch and it buzzes, so she tries to pump some allomancy into it, which does something. She doesn't know what it does, but then a speed bubble pops, and so because the carriage isn't large enough, the speed bubble doesn't hook into relativity, and so the carriage gets jostled like crazy and the horses nearly die.
Yeah. That's some science things that I'm just gonna be like, sure, that's how that works.
I appreciated the explanation. I thought it made sense.
I don't understand, like, what is, like, to me, I'm like, okay, so what is the exact mass and diameter that it works versus doesn't work? Is there a is there a gray area, or is it literally like an on and off thing?
What do you mean?
The bubble moving with them or not?
There is some equation that they are not. I'm sure they don't have it down to a science yet, because you would have to do a lot of really dangerous experimentation that you have no reason to do. That would be mass plus speed equals relativity, right? And so the way, or that wouldn't be the exact equation, obviously. It would be like mass plus speed divided by something, right? Like a smaller carriage, a carriage this size, moving significantly faster would be able to hold a speed bubble.
Would it, or does it have to do with size? I don't know.
No, the equation would have to bring in both, right? So the equation would have something to do with mass plus speed divided by the whatever the unit of measurement of the allomancy is.
Okay.
And so when those things are in balance, you get relativity, and when mass plus speed are lower than the thing they're being divided by, you would get this like moment.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know what that equation is. Like I couldn't put the numbers on paper for you because it's all fictional. But a train going too slow, you wouldn't have relativity on, even though it is large.
Okay.
Right? You need both. Anyway, so they get off of the carriage, and do a little roadside experimentation.
A little science project.
They realize that if you pump a little allomancy into the cube and then throw the cube, that allomancy you pump in happens a few seconds later. It is an allomantic grenade.
Pretty much.
It doesn't explain to me personally why lurchers why it changes the lurching ability to me to no longer be touch. The only like remaining question I have about the allomancy grenade is why lurching works differently when you use it than other powers.
Yeah, why does it turn into an area of effect instead of
Yeah.
a touch thing? Yeah, that's interesting. Because in my mind, it would make sense that the cube would have to touch you.
Yes.
And it would sap all the power.
And so I think it's just because then the cube wouldn't have worked in the one scene. Like, it's for the logic of that scene to have made sense.
It's also hard to get it to touch someone. Like, it just kind of makes it more difficult.
But based on the other powers we've seen it uses those powers in the way that I understand them to function.
Yeah.
Sorry, leeching, Nimvin, not lurching. I appreciate the Nimvin's
okay.
right.
I knew what you were talking about.
It changes if the grenade used the power as the person would have used the power, I get it more. But the fact that it uses the power differently is the thing that this didn't explain to me. Because, like, Wax throws it and it pushes metal away.
Yeah.
That's how that power works.
It puts up a bubble, like that kind of thing.
For Wayne and for Mercy. And so, I'm curious how it changes the function of the power, not just the location of the power for specifically leeching.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the chapter should have explained it. It is the question I still have of, like, why did that change how it works? But no, it's cool. They have this grenade, and I think they make the right call, right? The most useful use of this grenade, other than leeching, is Maricy's slowdown powers.
100%.
Being able to just trap people for a second and basically, because, they use the speed bubbles in their combat so much to give them a way to plan while the world is slowed. But what if you just have the world and the only thing that you're affecting is the smaller force? I thought it's a really fun tool. It's going to be really fun to see how Brandon uses it in the Sanderlange.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, this tool is, like, certainly more effective for certain powers than for others. Like this cube would probably be pretty ineffective at soothing because you don't have the human inclinations of where to push and pull and let up and push. It just kind of has an on switch. And so I feel like it'd be easier to tell if you were being soothed by this object.
Sure, but, like, even that, you toss that thing into a crowd and you can, like, you have, like, a delayed rioting.
Oh, for sure. No, it definitely is useful. I just feel like, in Mistborn Era 1, we spent a lot of time with Breeze.
Yeah.
And talking about why he is the best at what he does. And why that you can have someone who can toy with emotions, but it's the people who understand well enough to make it seem like the emotion is coming from you. It's natural. It's how you feel. Like this object doesn't have the human element to it to be able to push and pull and adjust itself. It just kind of is a thing that has an on switch, right?
This is one of those things that's what grenades are, though, right? Like, grenades are specifically non-specific weapons that are just really easy for people to use.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why we use so many of them in war. You know what I mean? Because they don't take a lot of training.
Yeah.
It is significantly easier to kill somebody with a grenade with less training than a gun.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And so that is kind of a better soother would be better off without it. But if someone isn't great at it and you just need them to do a big emotion very quickly for a lot of people.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it is interesting that this, like, tiny little device has so many implications for the different powers and how they function.
And there's a lot of powers it's functionally useless for, right? Like, what would a Seeker get? You know, a Seeker grenade is nothing. An ATM grenade is nothing.
Unless you somehow felt it through the grenade. Yeah, but the distance on it, like...
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, if you left that grenade, like, in your house while you were away, could you feel allomancy happening...
At home.
Like, it'd be like almost an alarm.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how it works, that'd be cool.
I don't know. No idea. Pure speculation, which is the fun of it, you know? Like, it's a new thing that we get to talk about how this toy affects the world.
This toy.
It is! It's a new toy.
Incredibly dangerous weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a new toy.
Wax gives the gold bracelet to Wayne, and he's like, yeah, this is a metal mine, and I can use it. It's not mine, but I can use it. It has an insane reserve of healing in it, but not infinite, because he does feel a little bit of draw from it, even though when he heals his hand, he cuts himself and heals his hand.
Yeah.
So they are a little bit worried that Suit is using hemalurgy.
Yup.
So they realize there's a roadblock ahead. So a tree's been cut down, and it looks like a perimeter has been built around Dulcine. We have arrived, and it is time to enact a plan. And that plan is Spoiled Tomato. Clarence, you want to explain Spoiled Tomato while I go pee?
This fucking killed me. I was like, what the hell? So Spoiled Tomato is basically Wax throwing Wayne into a situation that like a normal person wouldn't be able to walk away from because they would splat. They would break all the bones in their body. And Wayne does break several bones. You know, both of his legs, a shoulder. Like, they're, you know, it's definitely unpleasant. And sometimes it gets a little bloody, which is why it's called Spoiled Tomato. I literally, like, paused the reading and, like, turned to nerdy, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It's I love that they do cycle through several different plans of, like, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? And obviously, like, we have no context or inkling for what those plans might be, but I'm glad that this one became apparent to the audience. Wayne gets fucking thrown into a, like, shadowy spot around the perimeter. And before he dies, he heals himself, so he's all good and fine and dandy. But it takes him a minute. So he is, like, lying there, like, with all his bones popping and, like, cracking back into place, being like, I hope that a guard doesn't walk by and hear the healing that is happening in my body. Just fucking insane. He kind of fucks up with the guard. He's able to get the guard to trip on one of the electrical wires, unplugging one of the lights. So they kind of get plunged into darkness for a moment, which means that the rest of the group can join. Steris, not joining. Again, Steris is best girl, because Wax is like, hey, you should probably wait here. It's going to be really dangerous. And she's like, okay. And he's like, no, like, seriously, like, you should wait here. And she's like, yeah, no, that makes sense. She's like, look, staying close to you, being beside you being the safest thing only goes so far. All right. We can't use that logic for every situation. And I understand that. And Wax is like, Steris, you're the fucking best. I love you. I'm going to marry the shit out of you. But for now, gonna go get my sister. So they're able to sneak into the building through the darkness. You drop your phone?
Yeah. These pockets are so fucked.
Oh. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, those ones. Those pants are not gonna last much longer.
No. Yeah. Steris is the fucking tits.
She is.
Wax does not say that he loves her.
No, that's just me.
I know, but when that happens, it's gonna be good. And so I just want to...
We want to be very clear. Yes, absolutely.
James Ross says he also feels for the poor guard. Yeah. Didn't feel for the fucking gondola guy he was fucking ripping off. But he feels for this enemy.
Who's getting yelled at.
Well, that boy didn't do nothing wrong.
So they sneak into the building and there's a large ship, and then they split up. Half of them go looking for the spike, and half of them go looking for...
They find a boat.
Mr. Suit.
They find a boat.
Yep. Sure do.
Yeah.
Chapter 18.
Merci and Milan start snicking around, and they find Eirich, who is evil and therefore has a German-sounding name.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, wait, the evil scientist is like limping German man? Oh, okay.
That's definitely a little bit of a trope.
Well, and it is fully in line with this becoming a Indiana Jones story.
Yeah.
Like it does. This feels so Indiana Jones coded.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah. Turns out Eirich is deathly ill. He is slowly dying.
Mm-hmm.
His body is breaking down on him, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
And he thinks about Suit and Sequence wanting their weapons and their wars, and he just wants to be healed. He just wants to keep living, which is basically his motivation. There's a group of them on the ship, and they're trying to figure out how it works. Because they did not build the ship, they found this ship like this.
Yeah.
He thinks about that they've tortured the crew and don't have any results from that yet, because torture doesn't work, which Merci references a few times in this series. And then he hears someone call out for him. Goes over, he can't find who called, but he does find the little cube that he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does find that little cube, so he takes that. And he's super duper happy because now Suit is going to stop punishing him for losing it.
Yeah, well, he finds another cube.
Oh, I thought it was the one that Merci left for him. Like, I thought they put the cube down so he would take it and put it with the spike. That was their plan. It wasn't a new cube. It was Mercy's.
Wow, I missed that somehow.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
There was a lot happening in this chapter. But yeah. The plan was for Merci and Milan to leave the cube for him to find, hoping that he would put it in a safe place. And that safe place
He thinks
would
it's a
also...
new cube. I was also... You know what? They got me. I got you
are
guys.
Eirich. Yeah,
I am
yeah.
Eirich in this case.
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah.
I thought we had 2 cubes now. And I got
No.
excited about us having 2 cubes. But we
No.
still only have the 1 cube.
Just the one.
All right.
Just the one. So yeah, Merci and Milan follow him to see where he stores that. And then the wax and wane part of this chapter is them climbing onto the
Catwalk
above.
And the engineer looks down.
And they just fucking knock him out.
Well, Wayne gets flung up, knocks the guy out really quickly, and then takes his head over the side and starts, like, puppeting this unconscious engineer. Oh no, Wax, there's a guy up here, and he's beating me up right now. And Wax is like...
It's like, you're a fucking idiot. Why do I keep you around?
Oh my god, why are you always doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Stop puppeting unconscious men, Wayne!
Yeah.
But I thought this was very funny. I guffawed.
Yeah. So
Eirich is trying to figure out how to fly this, or how to move this ship. We don't learn it that flies until later. And we find out that the crew is being tortured about it.
We already went through this.
What? Did you say they were being tortured?
Yep, sure did.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I was still confused about there being 2 cubes.
And you know what? That's fine. But we went through the Eirich section.
In this case, there's only 1 cube.
In this case, yes.
There's 2 letters.
There is 1 cube.
But there's 1 cube.
Yeah. Wax.
You just said, yeah, she just agreed with me. I win the Wheel of Time argument. Boom!
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Retroactively, I have finally won the Matt, how many letters did Matt write
Sure.
argument.
Whatever you say.
You said yeah.
Wax sees Eirich, like, limping away. And the door opens, and he sees his sister in the room.
Yeah. We just found her. She's just, like, here.
Yeah.
But you said there were 2 letters. I am saying there's 2 letters, James Ross. And there's 1 cube.
So you're saying he wrote multiple letters?
He did write multiple letters. That was the thing that I said. You said there was only one letter. My argument was that there were multiple letters, and your argument is that there was one letter.
What do you think, chat? No, it's how many fireworks are there.
No, I said there were at least two letters, and you said there was one letter. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
I love that this is an argument where neither of us can remember what side we were on.
No, I don't even remember. Yeah, no, I don't.
I can't remember who thought there was one letter and who. I'm pretty sure I thought there were multiple letters and you thought there was one letter. We fought about this for weeks.
I know.
And we can't remember what side we were on.
Can't remember.
It's so wild.
Someone in chat will let us know.
No, I'm almost certain. I thought there were multiple letters, and you thought that that was the only letter he wrote. And I was adamant that he had to have written a previous letter no. I am right. No. You thought that was the letter. And I was adamant that because of some of the language in the letter, he had to have sent a previous letter in order for him to have changed his language in this letter. That he had sent a more formal letter that hadn't gotten seen. It does not matter.
And I think my argument was that he didn't write the letter.
No, your argument was that he only needed to send one letter for it all to make sense. And
I have no idea.
There's room for both of us to be right. But I think that I was more right than you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Anyways, we get to chapter 19. We're so good at this.
We're so bad at this.
So good.
Oh my god.
There was a letter. There probably was a letter about the airship. We can deduce.
Wasn't there? There's something.
I mean, they have radio now, so maybe not.
Anyway, Marcy watches Eric leave and then sneaks into the room. She starts looking for the safe. Milan comes in and is like, I know where it's going to be. It's going to be behind a painting, because it's always behind a painting.
No, she says a bookshelf.
Or a bookshelf. And Marcy's like, or it's on the floor.
She's like, people only pretend to read
so they
can have a secret bookcase.
Which is so funny, because she's currently making out with the only character in this series who we know is an avid reader.
Oh, true. You know what? That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Milana's like, people only pretend to read. Except for that guy that I keep fucking putting my mouth on. And then Marcy's like, but what if it's not
about
hidden?
That safe over
and what
there
if it's just that?
in the middle of the room? She's like, oh yeah, no, that'll work. So while Milan is unlocking that, Marcy goes exploring and she finds cages.
Yeah.
With the monsters that Rilur draw, and it just turns out that they're just people in masks.
Yeah, the Parshendi are people wearing Parshendi masks.
Well, they're not... Sure. Yeah.
They might actually be Parshendi masks, which is what's funny about it.
Who knows?
Because of the way... I'm not saying that I'm predicting this, but because of the way the spiritual realm works in Cosmere, it is reasonable to think that the imagery of the mask came from, like, dreams of another planet in the Cosmere. Like, that is it's totally possible.
Yeah, maybe.
That it is sort of like a connection to, like, a vision of investiture or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fantasy shit.
Yeah, it's possible.
It is absolutely possible.
So... Emily Malcurie says, when you said Parshendi mask, I was thinking of transforming one like in Majora's Mask.
Oh, hilarious.
That could be really cool. James Ross says, nobody mentioned the actual connection even though we've seen it. The actual connection to the masks? I don't know what that could be.
Objection, leading the witness.
You've seen too much Daredevil. Great show. Really enjoyed Daredevil. We've seen it. Oh, God, now that's all I'm going to be able to think about.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've seen the connection to the masks.
I mean, technically, like, Parshendi grow their own masks, because it's, like, carapace.
I don't think that's the connection to why they wear masks. The moon will crash on schedule in 3 days. Wax must stop it. You've never played Majora's Mask.
No.
You don't know what we're talking about.
I thought you were making a Moonfall reference or something. Apparently that movie was really bad.
Majora's Mask?
Moonfall.
Oh, with Halle Berry.
Sure, yeah. Maybe already crashed.
They don't have a moon?
I mean, they never mention it in the sky. There's no, like, moon, like, illuminating the night sky.
Oh, that's... I just assumed because it's not dark. It's not, like, pitch dark at night.
That's the mists.
But the mist wouldn't give off light.
No, they reflect it. So, like, firelight
But they can't reflect light that isn't there.
Yeah, it's from the electricity and lamps and fires and stuff.
Oh my god, it would get so cold at night.
Why?
Because there's no reflected light from the moon, right? You would essentially...
The moon heats us?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'll...
It can't be that much reflecting.
It's not much, but it stops the cycle from being like a complete... It basically, the moon balances the day-night cycle so that reflected light means that there isn't a complete on-off of where the sun is.
It can't be, because there's nights when there's no moon in the sky.
No.
So that would, then the temperature would be different if the moon was, like, new or not.
But the moon is still there.
Yeah, but it's not reflecting light and therefore wouldn't be reflecting heat.
It's not reflecting as much, yeah.
No, there's nothing. You can't see it. It's not there. So it wouldn't be bouncing. It wouldn't be reflecting.
Sure. So
you're saying that nights are colder when the moon is not in the sky?
I believe to a marginal degree, yes.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's a significant amount of sunlight that gets reflected. It's not nothing. You know what I mean? The moon can be on the same side as the sun, can it?
Well, yeah. That's what that's what an eclipse is.
No, that's not what an eclipse is.
Yeah, they can move in front of one, or the moon can move in front of the sun.
Oh, right. I'm thinking of the lunar cycle.
Yeah, I don't know if you're right.
I don't think the moon provides heat. It has to. If it reflects light, it has to provide some heat. That's where...
Yeah, but there's no way it reaches us like that.
How? That's how we get all heat.
But heat dissipates.
Yeah, but in the reflection, it has to have some... there has to be some amount of heat that gets transferred.
I don't think so. I've never heard of this before in my life. Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna call bullshit on this one.
I just assumed that because it reflects sunlight, it would reflect the sun, everything else that's in the sunlight.
If I shine a flashlight at the wall isn't warmer. Yeah, I mean... maybe by, like, points of a degrees. I don't know. But yeah, to me that would be wild because the temperature would fluctuate at night based on how much of the moon you are seeing.
Yeah. No, I just assumed...
We're Googling it, y'all. That's no moon.
The reflected radiation does contain heat, but the amount on Earth's surface is minuscule.
Yeah, okay.
Which explains why moonbathing never caught on. Interesting.
Moon bathing?
Yeah. There was an idea that you would like... I remember moonbathing like being like a fad that people talk. It was one of those fucking like, you know...
Like crystal girlies?
You have to go lie
shit?
naked in the moonlight so that... Yeah, that kind of bullshit.
Oh, alright. Okay, sure. Wild. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they don't have a moon.
Yeah, moonlight does carry heat, but it's so negligible in comparison to the heat that radiates off the Earth at night. So that it is like functionally zero. Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. I just assumed that like I think the assumption came from the moon being so significantly colder on the dark side that I was conflating that, but the reality of it is that the moon... Yeah, okay. I understand where I went wrong.
Yeah.
I guess not having a moon wouldn't affect the heat at night. I just figured it would. There would be a. I don't know. Weird.
You just thought that the difference was much larger than it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it doesn't make sense for light to carry no heat, right? Because the sunlight carry no heat, even reflected.
Yeah.
But I get that it's so marginal after the reflection that doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, that's fascinating.
We learned something new today.
What? Why were we talking about that?
Because there's no...
Like, how do werewolves work on Scadrial? Are there werewolves in any part of the Cosmere? I don't think so.
Well, if they don't have a moon, there can't be werewolves.
I don't think there's any investiture that allows you to change shape, right? Oh, that's not true.
I mean, Milan changes shape.
Yeah, and the Parshendi.
Oh, true.
They could have a furrier version of themselves that could be like a werewolf.
Werewolf form!
Yeah.
That's so fun. Now I want Parshendi werewolf form.
Yeah. Scadrial werewolves don't realize they're werewolves until they travel to another planet. That's interesting.
That is a very funny story.
Oh, so yeah, we find the guy in the cave, and he keeps saying, please. Wayne.
Okay, pattern.
You know what? Shut up. Wayne is in an engineer's outfit. And he's like, I am this. No, nope, this isn't right. No, I can't. Who is this man? And this is the most interested I've ever been in Wayne. This section here in chapter 20, 19, sorry, is, in my opinion, the most Wayne's, like, cosplay character has made sense to me, and I really liked this bit a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was fabulous.
Give a little lipstick on your tooth.
Thank you. I do love that, like, he, it's all in like the super minute details. Like, it takes out the pencil and is like, oh wait, no, I get it now. Mm-hmm. I get this person. Because we're all really, like, when you break it down, I think that we are who we are because of the details.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no, 100%. I love James Ross says, this part is so funny because as someone in engineering, I know everything he says is bullshit. James Ross, I hate to burst your bubble, but as someone not in engineering, I also knew that everything he said was bullshit.
Yeah. But if you were also an engineer and one of your subordinates came up to you and said a bunch of things, in front of other people, you gotta be like, well, yeah, no, duh, of course.
My favorite thing about this, though, is that Eirik is just so tired. Wayne is like, I need you to come do this. And Eirik is like,
fine. God damn it.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what? All right.
Everyone, takes me 3 times as long for me to get anywhere in this fucking building, but sure.
Wayne bursts into the room with Eirik and this large coin shot of Brute. And he says a bunch of nonsense. And Eirik, I don't get the vibe that Eirik is tricked by him. I think that Eirik is just so tired that he just is like, he doesn't even put brain power into trying to figure out what's going on. He just seems so, like, he's dying. And he just wants to succeed. He gives off the vibe of, like, he hasn't slept in weeks.
Yeah. Because
he's dying and but him not sleeping is making the dying worse.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's compounding his own problems.
Because he's trying to solve them, and it's not going well.
Like, I was talking with someone, this was forever ago, who had cancer. And they were... this was like 15 years ago. They were talking about how their doctor really wanted them to sleep, because sleep is such an important part of recovery. And they were like, I can't sleep because I sit there in my bed at night and think about my next radiation treatment. And they were like, the medicine is giving me so much anxiety that I'm not sleeping.
And so it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were scared that I don't know this person and I don't know what happened after this. So I really hope they made it. I'm pulling for you, bud. But it was just such a fascinating conversation of just like, oh yeah, like the problem of your anxiety meeting the like intensity of this moment is something I just can't imagine.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
We get to Marcy, and we go back to Marcy Milan. We kind of flip-flop back and forth in these chapters.
Yeah.
Milan got the safe open and they have the spike. Yay! And then Maricy's like, yep, so I found a person in here in a mask who does not look well. He's being kept in a cage. So she takes the keys and she opens it up. She lets him out.
Yeah.
Bold move and hey, it pays off.
Lord does it.
It sure does. They go. So the guy runs into another room because there's a door, and it's basically just a torture murder chamber.
There are 15 masks hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Of his people.
Yeah. There's blood everywhere.
Brutal.
It's horrific.
Yeah, this is really fucked. The bad guys in this series are so unbelievably fucked.
Yeah.
Kidnapping women to breed them, murdering people because they can't understand their language, like torturing them to death. The set are really, really bad. Like, they're really bad people.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
They suck a lot.
Yeah. But, and here's the thing, like, this series is appropriately treating them as bad people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like,
making excuses.
Yeah, or trying to like soften it or trying to both sides it. No. This series has good guys and bad guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 100%. A western.
It's not really a western anymore, but it was.
No, it was
a western.
Yeah. Anyways, Wax bursts in to the room with his sister.
And they're both like, "You're so old."
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're so old. Look at these wrinkles. You're so old.
Oh God. Just like poked me in the fucking jugular.
I'm sorry.
Your fingy went like, ugh. Didn't like that at all.
I'm sorry.
And then the coin shot enters the room and she fucking shoots him.
Yeah. Yeah, she just shoots him immediately. She's so pissed. I was so worried that she was going to have been turned by Suit.
Like brainwashed? No, yeah, no. She's like, no, fuck these guys. I want to murder every single last one of them. And I'm like, girl, you know what? I get it.
Shim Slater brings up an interesting point that I didn't catch until now. Their worst offense is using a naming convention based on card games. Brandon Sanderson. You really read a Batman comic where like, I'm going to write a book that's not that, but is that, didn't you?
I don't get it, but sure.
Batman, one of Batman's early villains, is the Royal Flush Gang.
Okay.
And so the 5 of them are named Ace, King, Queen, Jack. What's the 5th?
Joker?
No, I can't remember the 5th member. Suit, Sequence.
What is Sequence?
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sure. Okay.
Right? Aren't those called sequence hands? Interesting. Wow, this is just Batman. Guys, we're doing Batman.
So what is an Iric then?
That's his actual name. Oh, an array. Yeah, suit is not a mathematical term as far as I am aware either, Shrimps Lady. No, his name is Iric.
Yeah. So what's the card game?
No, that's just his name. That's not his title. That's just his actual name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his name is just Iric.
Okay.
Didn't they have a Royal Flush Gang in Batman Beyond 2? That's the like 3rd or 4th Royal Flush Gang. But yes, there's always a Royal Flush Gang in Batman. Anyway,
gotcha.
Maricy, end of chapter 19. They leave, and the man that they found runs over to the suit where they got the spike and the cube.
Yeah.
And there's a disc with a cloth strip, and he puts it on his body. And it seems to be comforted by it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I thought it was a religious thing. Nope. And then...
We gotta
We're
shoot
fighting.
up.
We are fighting.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Telson is a goddamn menace. She's shooting everybody. She's gonna run out of bullets so fast, and in fact she does. But Wax is like, this is bad. You don't have superpowers. So he grabs her, boops her up onto the top of the boat.
Hell yeah.
Boat.
It is a boat.
And then it's not a boat though. It is technically a ship.
Yeah.
But in this case, it is an airship, not a sea ship.
Okay.
But I don't think you can call flying things boats.
I guess not. It's a vessel.
It is no, but like this is weird, right? Because a small ship is a boat if it's on water.
Yeah.
But a small ship in the air isn't a boat if it's in the air.
Right. So a boat, it determines on how it travels.
But ship doesn't. It's an airboat. I don't think airboat is a thing, Zephyr Blake.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Boats are exclusive to water.
I just think they don't have the word plane yet.
Yeah.
Captain Mal called Serenity his boat. Captain Mal is not a reliable linguist.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him to death. I don't trust Captain Mal Reynolds for quality English language.
Yeah. And that feels more like a nickname than like an actual term. I don't know. Yeah.
But also, like, this is going to sound insane. I understand that what I'm about to say is going to sound insane. A spaceship feels more like a boat than a plane does. Does that make sense to anybody else?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, a spaceship feels like a boat. Because you're, like, going somewhere in a boat. But, like, a plane is a plane. Like, if you were to fly a plane and call it a boat, I would feel weird about that. But if you were to call a spaceship a boat, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And I can't explain why that is. At all. But it 1,000% makes sense in my brain.
I'm happy for you.
Clarence is so not on board.
That makes no sense to me.
I can't elaborate. A plane is a bus in the air. That is true. A boat is not, like a ferry is not a bus. But a plane is definitely a bus. Can't explain that difference to you at all.
Okay.
But it is 1,000% true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely said you don't go somewhere on planes. Yeah.
No. That is not what I said. I said
no,
that.
You did.
No,
you did.
I said that spaceships feel like boats because you're going somewhere. Which I acknowledge doesn't make a lot of sense.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I don't know what a blimp is a blimp. The blimp is nothing. You can't compare a blimp to anything else. Blimps are their own thing. Nothing feels like a blimp. And blimps don't feel like anything. They are simply blimps.
Sure.
But a bus and a plane are the same thing, and a boat and a spaceship are the same thing. And I will not elaborate on why they feel that way, but it is true.
No. That's not...
If someone said a blimp was a boat, I would think they're insane. 1,000%.
A blimp feels more like a boat because it's floating like a boat floats.
Right, but like a hot air balloon doesn't feel like a blimp. It also doesn't feel like a boat. Floating
I would
is
say
not
a hot air balloon is closer to a boat than a spaceship.
Spaceships feel like boats, and they don't float. They fly.
Exactly.
So therefore, floating argument, not part of this.
If floating is what makes it a boat, then a hot air balloon would also be a boat.
You know what I think it is? And I actually do think that this is what it is. I think that media around storytelling in spaceships very often feels like voyages between ports. And I think that
isn't that what airports are?
No.
They're just ports.
No, because
for people.
Airplanes, people don't live on airplanes in the way that people live on boats and live on spaceships and planes.
So it has to have living quarters.
It's not just the living quarters, it is about the style of life that you live on them. Spaceships and boats in their separate pieces of media are often symbols for freedom from like a normal way of life, right? Whereas a plane is a tool with which you get to different places in a story. You know what I mean? So much media around spaceships is the crew living on the spaceship.
Okay. So it's about the community.
It's about the vibe.
Okay.
Emily's got it. Yeah, you treat a plane as a thing you get on and off, like a like a very showy, slow elevator. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, Hippopotamus also brings up that spaceships often use Navy terms. I don't. I think that that's what it is, right? I think that it is that like planes. You don't live on a. It's not like you and your buddies are gonna go get a plane and fly around and live on it. That's just that's not the vibe of it. You're also not gonna like get in a bus and like I guess you could bus from city to city and like live that way.
People turn school buses into homes.
Yeah, but I don't think you can drive them after you do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can. Yeah, they drive. Yeah, that's the lifestyle they live.
You can also do that with a blimp. I don't think you can in the same way. Where do trains come into this taxonomy? Those are trains.
So they would also be boats. Because you live on them.
People turn planes into homes too. I've never watched a movie about like a group of friends living on a plane. You know what I mean?
Okay, alright. Okay.
Anyway, that's a Blue Sun. A skyship is a boat though. But it's not a plane. Very importantly, skyships in D&D, boats, not planes.
Sure.
Have we done enough boat plane talk now?
I don't know but that was fascinating.
I think that makes sense. I think that everything I said is true. I think it's a universal fact, and I think that 99% of people would agree with me, and the 1% of people that wouldn't are being difficult.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So don't be difficult, chat. You heard it here. Jesus Christ.
You're either with me or you're wrong. There's a big old fight happening.
Yeah, anyways.
Everyone's trying... This fight is so chaotic.
Yes.
I listened to it twice, because I was like, holy shit, there's so much happens. There are a bunch of Allomancers on Suit's side, but thankfully Wax has his Thug Killer rounds, so he is blowing people away. When it seems like he's gonna die, the cube comes out of nowhere. Maricy's starting to slow people down by using the cube grenade to give Wax time to dodge fire. Mm-hmm. She's fucking shooting like a menace. Telson is leaning over the side of the goddamn boat like, up top, just
people,
popping off.
I hate you.
People are dying everywhere.
I love that, like, Wax uses the cube to, like, push all the people with actual metal away so that he can tell who's got, like,
who's got aluminum
on them. Yeah.
They're blowing people away like crazy. And through it all, this masked man keeps going, Maricy, please.
Please, for the love of God, please.
Pointing at the boat.
Yeah.
And... fuck. Steve Zito's right. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. live in their plane for a bit. That is a good...
Damn.
But they don't want to. And that's an important point. Okay, wait. No, in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. example, they do it out of necessity, not desire. Anyway.
Sure.
Also, that plane is more of an airship than it is a plane. Anyway.
It flies.
I know, but lots of things fly that aren't planes. Blimps.
So what
hot air
is a
balloons,
plane?
Zeppelins.
What makes a plane a plane?
I think it's a shape thing.
But jets are also planes.
Those are planes. Okay. They're called jet planes.
Okay.
Yeah. I would call a jet a plane. Absolutely.
So it has nothing to do with a propeller.
I mean, most planes don't have propellers.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm asking what makes it a plane.
Helicopters also fly. I forgot about helicopters.
That's true. No one's living in their helicopter. Those don't even have doors.
Here's the thing. I can't tell you what a plane is.
Uh-huh.
But if you look at a plane, you know what a plane is.
Okay.
And so I don't need to describe it. We're in the middle of this fight, and this masked man keeps yelling. Maricy gets shot for the first time.
Yep.
And the masked man is like, well, fuck it. You're shot now. I'm going to drag you into the boat instead of asking you to come with me politely. Wax is literally fucking Batmaning around the room using his hook thing from Maricy.
Yeah.
Twin Mass, thank you for subscribing with your Prime over on Twitch.
Hell yeah, thank you for that.
What the heck? Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. And he's fucking playing Batman over here. And they're fighting. He's taking out all the riflemen on top of this place. And there are so many more people coming. Horns are blaring. He's like, I can't keep this up forever.
I'm running out of steam here.
We're gonna die. And so he kills some guys with some aluminum guns, takes one of those, and then heads into the ship, where they run into Marcy and Milan and this man. And he's like, guys, ding, ding, boom. Pulls a lever.
Ladder.
Fucking rope ladder comes in. He leaps into the air, climbs up, and he's like, come on up.
Except they can't understand him yet, so.
The boat has an escape pod.
Yeah, it has a lifeboat. The boat has a lifeboat. That's what it is.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The boat's got a lifeboat, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And he puts on a different medallion, and now he speaks common. No. Ska.
He speaks Ska.
It took 3 books, but the word Ska does still exist. It is the name of the language they speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting, because the Ska language, the language that was like exclusive to the Ska in Mistborn Era 1 is now High Imperial or whatever. And the language that the nobles spoke is now the Ska, is now called Ska.
Ska was not High Imperial. That was like a, like that was like street slang.
Sure, but it was the language that was spoken only by the Ska. Whereas the language that is now the main language was spoken by everybody. But wasn't the Ska language.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this guy puts on a medallion, and it allows him to have the investiture of connection.
I think that is, yes, what it says.
Which means he can speak their How did you feel about this?
I don't get it yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to get there.
With you. I don't know how I feel about I have a magic coin that gives me languages.
Useful.
Because how do you store up a language?
You store up connection. Like, I thought of it as like a universal translator.
So do you have to not connect with... Do you have to, like, go into the
isolate.
woods and be alone for a while?
Yeah, you cannot communicate with any people whatsoever to fill up this metal mind.
It's connection like Dalinar. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Dalinar can touch people in their languages, too.
Also doesn't make sense, really. But yeah.
It might be my least favorite power in the Cosmere.
Yeah, but it is useful. So, like, I get it. I get why it's there.
1,000% useful. It just has this implication on what language is that I don't agree with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It implies that there is something immutable about a language. And I just don't... That's not the way that I view language in the world. And so it is an understanding of how language functions that goes against my feeling about what language is in the real world. Is why it feels wrong to me. Because it makes language a like element of physics in a weird way.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one yet. We'll wait for more explanations. Yeah.
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 But to be fair to me, I also complained about when Dalinar did it. I am being consistent.
Yeah, 100%.
I forgot that Dalinar did it, but I just want to be clear that I have been consistent about how I feel about being able to be like, okay, good, I speak English now.
But here's the thing, no. It honestly makes more sense for Dalinar. Because Dalinar touching someone and gaining the knowledge they have on understanding the language they speak makes more sense than somebody else filled up a piece of metal with an idea of what connection is supposed to be like, and therefore it teaches the person that language that the people in the room so happen to be speaking. He also implies that there's different languages in different medallions because he's like, oh, I think I grabbed the wrong one.
No, he's just talking about the connection medallion, not that there's another...
He doesn't have a library of different languages that he can strap on?
Because they've never met these people before, so how could they have the language?
That's why I was confused.
Although I guess the language predates... So the Lord Ruler could have brought them the language, so they could have a medallion just for this language. It would be like, oh, and that's why he has a weird accent, is because the Lord Ruler, the medallion has the language that the Lord Ruler gave to them, not the modern version of it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, this guy talks and he's like, "Hey, Wax, everyone needs to take one of these medallions so that you can fly.
Yeah.
Or no, so that you can make yourselves light, store all your weight, so that Wax can fly this ship.
Yeah.
We have an airship.
He straps Wax to the boat. He gets these like straps. He's also like, oh, great and fabulous one. Please let me direct you in this if you would like me to direct you in this. Wax is like, yeah, sure, whatever the fuck you need, bro. We're getting shot at. So, yeah, he grabs onto the straps and he pushes off into the air. And they fly.
And they fly.
Chapter 21.
Yeah. Yeah. The final chapter of the reading this week. We did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. They mostly just fly. That's kind of it. That's the chapter.
Well,
the end.
I'm so good. Info dumped like I have never been dumped on before.
I really hope it's not true.
If the Lord Ruler survived, I think I will be very upset.
I hate it.
Yeah. I hope that it is something else.
I'm a really big fan of a lot of how the Mistborn Era 1 things have connected to Mistborn Era 2.
Yeah.
I am. I really like the light touch on it. Outside of like Sazed and, you know.
Yeah, this is a hammer.
But like Marsh showed up one time.
Yeah.
It's not like Marsh has come in and solved problems for them.
Well, he did give them the book on hemalurgy, which is how they learned a lot of information they needed. But it's fine.
They do go pick up Steris, and then
oh yeah, of course, yeah.
They do the like the sky pickup from the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But in this case, Whack shoots himself up in the air, and then they come and pick him up.
And Barisa gets it. Somehow Rashik survived. Yes.
If it's true, and it might not be, right? Don't tell us. We'll read it. But if it is true, I hate the decision to retcon
the sacrifices that our characters made.
Big moment at the beginning of Vin's journey.
Yeah.
For this. I just don't think it's worth it. I think that it... I don't like when you reflavor something that... Yes, this is what I hated. I really hated the concept of...
I don't like it either.
Rashek surviving, being ripped apart and turned into a husk by Vin, and that somehow his body was able to recover from that. And it might not be true, and like, there's a lot of like fake out reveals in these books. But yeah, for the final chapter of this week's reading, it really turned me off.
Yeah. Unless it was, like, maybe a conjurer who stole the Lord Ruler's body and, like, impersonated him.
Again, fine with that, right?
Yeah, like, that would be more interesting to me. I do not like the idea of the Lord Ruler surviving right now.
Or that the Lord Ruler gets to be reframed as being sympathetic and regretful. That the Lord Ruler survived, went off to other people, and was... I don't like framing him as a character who, like, realized he was wrong and tried to do better the second... You know what I mean? Like, but then in trying to do better the second time, still created a culture that worships him and...
Yeah. Yeah, this is the man who still created, like, slaves and an entire race of people that he castrated. Like, yeah, this is a read and find out situation for sure.
Yeah. I definitely think it's read and find out. I get that. I didn't... As a reveal, it just felt very, like, everyone from the last book survived. And they keep talking about how Kelsier survived death. I'm like, at this point, if Kelsier showed up in this series, I wouldn't be surprised. Because it feels like they're, like...
Yeah.
Kind of doing that.
Maybe it was Kelsier.
I don't know.
Not the Lord Ruler.
I would also hate that, though.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't be a fan of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't... If this turns out to be true, it feels a little bit like it is reframing Vin's story and her success, her first really big success, in a way that I think detracts from the trilogy that I think is Brandon Sanderson's best work.
Yeah, absolutely.
In order to have a reveal here that doesn't have a lot of value to me in this narrative. Which
is why I'm like, it's got to be a fake out. Like, I don't, like, to me...
But if it is the Bands of Mourning, how could it be a fake out?
Well, if a Khandra stole the body of the Lord Ruler, meaning they can use his powers, right, and take the bands with them, like...
Yeah, and if it was a Khandra, I'm more okay with it, because a Khandra behaving differently and, like, giving this technology to these people... But then how is a Khandra teaching them how to make these fucking coins?
Well, here's the thing. We know that Pa'am had access to a lot of secrets that the Lord Ruler gave her and her alone, specifically, about how things worked in hemalurgy and different magic powers and yada yada.
But if Pa'am had access to these coins, why would she need to do all the hemalurgy spice stuff?
Because maybe a Khandra can't use the coins? I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
because they have spikes and not...
She teaches that. Yeah, so Pa'am disappeared, taught people how to do it, and then came back.
Yeah, or the Lord Ruler had another Khandra minion that they were very close to. I don't know. This is weird to me.
No. It can't be Pa'am because the Lord Ruler died, and then there was a large chunk of time where Pa'am was under Sazed's team. I don't want to say control, because he wasn't, like, directly influencing her yet. But
yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
So it would have to be a Khandra that, like, Sazed lost track of for a significant amount of time. Unless Sazed knew that this was happening. But also, like...
But also, if Sazed knows that there's this society of people that live in a fucking perpetual ice age and, like, did nothing about it... It seems weird. Like, was he like, I'm gonna make Ellendale really nice, and I'm gonna leave this place really shitty, and we're gonna do a science experiment to see which group of people does better. That just doesn't feel like Sazed to me. So, I don't know. I'm very confused, honestly, by this whole chunk. I don't really want to talk about it that much, because I feel like I barely understand the information that has been given to me. And so I don't know what to do about it. But basically, the short of it is that they believe that the Bands of Mourning exist.
Yes.
They believe that Mr. Sudas found them, and that's where he is currently headed to the temple that is in the mountain range that is unexplored. And so they're like, well, we have an airship, so let's go get the Bands of Mourning first, because they would be really bad in Suit's hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Marcy is lying on the ground, convinced she's gonna die, because Milan was like, yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And so just not freaking out about it, Marcy is being very mature and going, okay.
She's like, damn, that sucks. Like, first time I got shot.
And then Wax is like, how's she doing? And Milan's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be okay. And Marcy's like, what?
She's like, you said I was gonna die. And Milan's like,
yeah,
well,
eventually, you're a human.
Duh. Like, can't prevent that from ever happening.
It's a good bit.
It was great. The fact this fucked me up. The fact that Milan can like finger jelly into a wound and kind of suss out what's going on and patch it up by digesting part of the person so that she can replicate their own skin to attach and heal wounds inside of someone is so like bonkers to me. But like
all the Khandra need to become surgeons.
Yeah.
They can save every every hospital needs a Khandra.
Seriously.
Like this is incredible.
Just like perfect skin grafting on like who needs a blood transfusion from another person?
Who needs a liver?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I grow a liver with their own cells and put it into their body.
You know what? This is probably why Sazed has been keeping the Khandra away from society, is because if people found out about it, they would like capture Khandra, and it would be like The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, where like rich people would have their own Khandra kept in captivity to like grow an extra body for them.
Whoa, spoilers.
That movie's old.
You just spoiled Michael Bay's The Island.
Yeah.
Did you know that Scarlett Johansson wanted to be nude in that movie, and Michael Bay said no?
I know. I'm so disappointed.
I'm not. Michael Bay made the right choice.
No, I know, but sometimes I look back on movies and I'm like, man, I really should have like realized I was bi sooner. because it was Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think it's the right call for that movie, but it's just one of those funny stories where people are like, we could have had.
I know.
Because people are gooners.
It's me. I'm people. My God, when we were at Disneyland and that kid called what's his face a gooner, was it?
I don't remember this.
We were in the line for the Star Wars ride
at Disneyland.
What's his name? Starts with an H. The child slavery person who becomes a good guy. Starts with an H. He sells kids into child slavery in Clone Wars and then becomes a good guy in Rebels.
Oh. Pirate.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh my God, why can't I think of his name?
I know.
Yeah.
Hondo
Anaka.
Some, like 9-year-old kid on the ride was like,
You're
he's
a
gooner. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Hondo Naka.
Yeah, that was wild. Anyways.
Hello, my friend.
They're all alive and they're all headed to go get the mythical bands of Mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going up to the second site.
Yeah.
Now I want to figure out what this mask connection is. Because the people are our people are called deniers of masks. Why are masks important? I don't know.
I don't know. Feels culty.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for book club today. This one was a weird one because I feel like we stopped in the middle of such a crazy thing that like, and in a way, like I actually think it was the right place to stop. Like I get why we did.
Yeah.
But I have so many questions and things that I need clarification on that I'm like I don't really know what else to say about this section.
I definitely think that the people who don't like Mistborn Era 2, I get it.
Yeah.
I think that people who think that it's like awful, I don't get. Like if Mistborn Era 2 isn't for you, I totally get it. These books aren't what Alloy of Law sets them up to be. And they're very they try a lot of things. I don't know that everything is successful in Mistborn Era 2. So I think some of it is. Oh no, I'm not saying that none of it is.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think that there's a lot of swings in Mistborn Era 2, and there are more misses in it than in other Sanderson works.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the highs are higher than some Sanderson works.
Yeah.
Like I think that like it's certainly better than Elantris and Warbreaker.
Yeah, for sure.
But Emily Malcurie has a great point. I think it's bizarrely disconnected as a series, and I do agree with that. I'm feeling that,
yeah.
I was excited for kind of like pulpy Western adventures in the big city, and we got one of those, and then we kind of got like a weird political like riot story that didn't really have anything to do with the riot, because it was actually about the fact that our main character fell in love with an immortal who died in front of him. And then the governor's corrupt, but then the third book is now like there's like another continent of people who are coming, and there's a lot going on here, and I think that there are elements of it that are hyper successful and very fun. I think the use of combat and motion are great.
Yeah.
I think that the characters are wonderful. I love Steris so much. I love the growing relationship between her and Wax and the way that that's being handled. It might be my favorite romance Brandon Sanderson's written.
Yeah, I mean, I do love Navani and Dalinar in a lot of ways, but this one just feels really unique. It has that lightning in a bottle element that it just like, is riveting. Yeah. Always.
I agree. Navani and Dalinar's great. But where we're at, like, I do think that this is a very odd series, and I understand why that doesn't work for some people.
Yeah.
And I also think that it is working enough for me, but it will never be my favorite of his works.
Exactly. Yeah. I am enjoying it for sure, but I am not hankering to pick back up these books, right?
Interesting.
In Stormlight, I definitely felt that way. Yeah. Because I was so immersed in the world that I was like, I dig this, even when there were things, even when it was slower. Whereas I don't feel that, like, I have to keep going and I have to know what happens next with this. But that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it.
I'm hoping that as much as the rest of Cosmere seems to start to be touching this, I don't need these books to go. I don't need these characters. In the same way that like the Warbreaker characters showing up in Stormlight was really fun because they felt like they were in a similar like thing. These characters showing up in Stormlight would feel really weird to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Wax showing up on the Shattered Plains would be bizarre.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%.
Yeah.
James, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. My wife likes it less and less the more it connects to the greater Cosmere.
I agree with that.
I am kind of feeling that. I was looking forward to something different from Sanderson in this.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like he can't help himself. And maybe that's disingenuous. You know, maybe that's not fair, but it definitely is
I
like...
don't think that's the meanest way to say it. Like...
Yeah, he can't help himself. He's got to pull it all into the bigger picture.
Hoyt shows up because he feels like he needs to put Hoyt in somewhere.
Or he can't have the characters move the plot forward without someone
without a Deus Ex Machina
for them, which you know is not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to finish the book and kind of like see what this is.
Yeah.
It is going to be weird that after this we're not doing the next book in this series.
I know. Yeah.
We're doing next week we're going to finish this book.
Yeah.
The following week we're in LA, so there will be no book club because we're at WonderCon. If you're at WonderCon, come say hi.
Yeah, we'll be there
around.
Saturday.
Maybe just Saturday. We're not 100% sure of our schedule yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the week after that is right before we head to Japan. We are going to be doing a full book recap for Shadows of Self and the Bands of Mourning.
Yes.
And maybe an essay or something, and we had talked
There's something from the Secret History or something. I don't know. There's something we need to read.
Yeah.
But we have 2 weeks off. We can read it, I think we might read a short story or something. And then we are gone for a month. There will be baby book clubs over on the Nerdy Wordy Book Club YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you are not subscribed to that channel, that's where the, non-live book clubs are going to go.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, baby book clubs, pre-recorded things, Yeah, that channel is the Nerdy Wordy Book Club.
There's also a chance, I think there's a chance that at the end of, once we finish Wind and Truth, the book club will move over there. I think there's a chance that might happen.
Yeah, maybe.
I think long term this show will eventually live over there, but...
No, because memberships get gifted, right? Because we right now upload the...
But if the memberships get gifted there, it's no difference.
Well, then we'd have to upload the audiobook reactions to the Nerdy Wordy Book Club channel. It would take some logistical stuff. We would have to do that over a period of time where we're away, like in Japan, where they could expire and then resub to a different...
Yes, yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to happen.
Maybe not. We'll see. Or we just put them in both places and it's... I don't know. You only...
That's true. You only need a membership for one. That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. This is... That was book club. That was fun.
Yeah.
You need to move all the old reactions, right? That is a problem.
That's... Yeah. That's
Spit a little Wayne verse? I'm not gonna lie, Ashy. We've just been live for 3 hours. I could not possibly pull up a Lil Wayne verse in my mind right now.
But thank you for that super chat.
I would love to.
Yeah. No.
I also don't know that I know a Lil Wayne verse that I wouldn't get in trouble for saying out loud on the internet.
I don't know any.
The most memorable ones have some language that I don't think are...
Which songs did Lil Wayne do?
I don't know that you would know them.
No, I feel like I would, people listen to music when I was in high school.
People listened to music when I was in high school. But let's move on. We're already at 2:00 and the Wheel of Time episode 2 reaction is live. So I want to push people to that.
Get out of here.
Actually, thank you for that super chat. I'm sorry. I will make a TikTok where I rap Lil Wayne later today, and I'll post that on the Nerdy Nightly TikTok.
Did Lil Wayne do I'm on a Boat with Lonely Island? Is that him?
I think it is.
Yeah. Never thought I'd be on a boat. It's a big blue watery road. Poseidon, look at me. That's Lil Wayne, right?
No, I think that's...
No, it's T-Pain. Never mind.
Yeah.
They're the same thing to me. I'm so sorry. I can't. I don't know any rappers at all.
You know what's wild? Blue Sugar just subscribed for 18 months over on Twitch. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Lil Wayne was on
you, Blue.
The sports talk show that I love, First Things First. He guest hosted. And I was like, why is Lil Wayne on the show?
All right.
And it was great.
High low.
Never thought I'd be on an airship.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mars, what's your high?
Well, honestly, I think my high, out of all of this, like, crazy fucking chaos that was this section, I think that my high is the kiss. Like, I'm, like, rooting for this relationship so hard, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I've never been like, yeah, I ship characters so hard. But, like, I'm so here for Wax and Steris.
Yeah.
And it was just such a beautiful moment in the middle of really cool stuff as well. Like, the build up to it, I thought was fucking immaculate. Honestly, I loved it. It brought me so much joy.
Yeah.
But a close second is definitely Milan being able to eat part of Marasi to heal her. Because that just
That's
sounds
a high?
insane. Yeah. What's your low?
You know what? The feeling I had when the Lord Ruler reveal happened.
Sure.
I didn't like it. It didn't make the book better for me.
Yeah. For my low, we have already talked about this. Hoyd giving them the coin to move the plot forward, I just think is the weakest narrative so far in this series.
Yeah, those are the two moments in this week that didn't really work for me. The rest of it did, though.
Yeah, what's your high?
Honestly, Telsin getting the gun and just Wax being like, all right, do you know how to use this? And she's like, no, I'll learn quick. BAM! And just immediately fucking unloads on the guy. It's because I was so nervous that she was going to have been turned by Sue. And, you know.
I was nervous about that too, yeah.
The speed with which she goes for revenge was so satisfying to me. I genuinely loved it.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I want so much more Telsin. And so I'm excited to have, I'm so excited to have more time with her in the end of this book.
Yeah.
Because her being like,
to know her.
I want to kill them all. I was like, girl, I get you. You've been held kidnapped for like 2 years. She's like, I want to no, Wax. I don't want to sneak out of here. I want to burn them to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, Telsin, I get you. You're my kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is... Who?
Oh, I have not your guess. The algorithm goddess is Telsin because she's hungry for revenge, and I don't blame her.
She do be hungry for revenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop in the chat... That's the Wheel of Time Episode 2 reaction. Go give that a like, please.
Hell yeah.
Because the Wheel of Time video's not doing the best. And I would like to continue reacting to it. But if it completely bombs, we'll stop, obviously.
Yeah. If it's not, if people are not interested, then maybe we'll just watch it on our own. I liked episode 2 more than episode 1. So I'm excited to watch episode 3 today. We'll have hopefully that reaction up tomorrow, depending on our editor. Yes.
And we will be doing all the things. Follow us on the internet. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And then let's cut to Smut Corner.
Hell yeah. There was a lot of fighting in this.
Yeah.
It's hard to add.
Oh, no, babe.
What?
Milan can get all up in there.
I mean, yeah.
Milan, sounding Wayne.
Huh?
She can make the perfect size thing to just fucking sound Wayne. Really fucking go for it. Do you know what sounding is?
No.
Oh, okay. So sounding is when you take a thing and you stick it in the urethra of a man. And then
the boys?
you jack him off to build up pressure, and then when you pull it out, it's a very apparently very explosive orgasm. It's a BDSM thing.
I think there's a fish that does that. It's hard to get back out again though.
It's not so much sounding, but Milan's ability to get up in there.
It's true. I mean, if you've got any specific kinks,
yeah, Milan can do it.
Milan has the tools to accommodate for sure. Yeah, wow.
I really hate that I'm the only person that knows what sounding is. Guys, y'all are not nearly... It sounds painful. Apparently it feels great. I would never.
You're like, get that away.
The risk, any level of risk that you could like fuck that up is too much risk for me.
I think
when sex already feels great.
Yeah, you don't need to add the complications. Because here's the thing. Like, Milan can peg Wayne no problem. There's already so much that they can do, right? Like, that seems, like, super complicated. And...
Rybuck, I appreciate you.
I do find it, like, a little bit weird that, like, they were like, Milan, take over this man's body. And then everyone, like, looks at Wayne to make sure Wayne is comfortable with it when, like, has nothing to do with him. That was, like, such a weird moment for me that I actually didn't love.
It wasn't weird to me because Brandon Sanderson is Mormon. And I'm like, yeah, he would add in, like, a weird, like, gay joke that isn't funny, but
I guess, yeah, but it does. Like, Wayne honestly seems like he's into the kind of women like Renette, and Renette feels like the kind of woman who's into pegging. So I feel like Wayne is into pegging. He just doesn't know it yet, and Milan is going to be able to be flexible enough.
Renette
to, like,
isn't into pegging. She's into strap-ons because she's a lesbian. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not pegging.
It's close. You know, same family, adjacent to. Right? She's a dom, is what I mean.
She's pegging adjacent. And that's where we're going to end our show. Renette, lesbians are pegging adjacent. And that's what you learned here on the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. Thank you to our incredible mods for everything that you do. We will see you in 2 weeks for the wrap-up of Shadows of Self and Bands of Mourning. Questions channel will open soon. No. We'll see you next week. And then 2 weeks after that. We'll see you next week for the end of the book.
Yes.
Sorry, I fucked up.
End of the book first.
Hopefully our internet's fixed by then. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.